And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
Mark
Sheen Washable.
Nope.
The man of many names.
And the Red Baron.
Yeah.
Oh, we are back for this week. Off next week.
Yeah, we've actually we've the Red Baron and I have ordered new business cards. They've reached the status of reoccurring guest on the business card.
And these are clones. We're helping the youth.
We're buying the youth beer.
No. They asked, but we said no.
Yesterday, the youth made me mad.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the youth. So yeah, there's a fun surprise. They were going to be on for the first half of the show, and then the other team forfeited on their coaching that they're doing for baseball. They're
Almost back to 500.
coaching of properly erect phalluses.
2 forfeit wins.
Hey, 500 is 500.
4-5, baby.
You think if the Browns make the playoffs, they're going to be like, we tied this deal. They're going to be like, yeah. Yeah.
So we just found out. You mentioned playoffs. Apparently, Little League doesn't do playoffs anymore.
So what, you just end the season with whatever record?
They said that the other day, and I was like, well, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah, what the fucking point of playing?
What's the point?
So just whoever has the best record wins?
I don't even think it's like you win. It's just
Participation trophies for everybody?
We're done.
You guys paid a lot of money. Go fuck yourself.
30 racks for everyone?
Might as
We're
well
getting these kids drunk.
Every kid gets a 30 rack, and every coach gets a handle of Smirnoff.
Shut up.
Grape.
Ooh.
I'd be in.
Oh, Kendall, what throwback jersey are you wearing today?
No throwback. I'm wearing a gift from Kyle.
Who?
This is Mr. Stephen Hauschka. Oh, the man of many names. My bad.
People don't know my name.
That's right. And actually, that wasn't his name.
Yeah.
I made it up.
It's Ted.
It's Ted. Ted
Williams.
Stoltz.
Hauschka's not even good.
He's pretty good.
He got you
The
a goose
Bills
egg
aren't
last
so
week,
good.
bro. He got you a goose egg.
He did. But I don't blame him. I blame the team. They couldn't get down the field. They're awful. Their Bills are just awful.
We'll save it for the rankings. That haven't been done yet. But they're going to be here for the whole show.
We're here.
We have Red Baron and I were afraid we wouldn't have any guests today, and we've got 2 guests.
I just gonna go to Taco Bell.
Yeah. All right. Starting lineups. Man of many names,
Oh, I got
except the real name.
the Sierra Nevada. The Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Everybody's first craft beer.
What's that accent you're doing?
No, it's not.
I don't know.
It's either that or Magic Hat. I know.
First of all,
Why is he? I give it to Magic Hat because Magic Hat
I
was
wish I
around first.
had Magic Hat because I don't mind that.
If you believe hard enough, that'll become a magic hat.
No,
Radio.
it's not there.
Everybody else just smell that shit that just popped out of Kyle.
There's the magic hat.
So, Maxine,
I have.
the grossest beer at the table.
Yeah, it's what was in the fridge.
Looks like an A&W cream soda.
About to say that.
It's
That's a Brookside dirty water ale.
It's a Chimay Doré.
You're gonna throw that up.
You're gonna throw that.
Well,
up.
it's Chimay. I mean, their normal Belgian is pretty good. I've never had this one, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
It's gonna suck.
I have from Pipeworks Brewing in Chicago, from the Riddler collection, the Bomber series, Cinnamon Abduction, a cinnamon imperial stout.
So you're gonna throw that up too.
I hate cinnamon.
Hey, Kyle, can you sing the Snoop Dogg Cinnamon Abduction? Remember, like Sensual Seduction? Can you sing for us? You heard that song before?
Yeah, but I don't remember the
Come on. Just gotta say.
On the car ride over here, Kyle played Walking to Memphis for the 400th time this month.
And walking to Memphis.
And then Kyle played a cover guy that was doing it, and he was just like, this better be fucking good. And all of a sudden the guy starts singing and goes, all right, not bad.
He falls in love with any cover, anything.
Cinnamon seduction.
Good enough.
Cinnamon Subduction.
You sang it in the same.
Good enough.
he was singing a cover. He was singing a parody cover of a Snoop Dogg song over Walking in Memphis.
Riddler picked out a beer for me this week, and I'm very excited. Harpoon came out with a Dunkin' coffee porter looking just like how Dunkin' Donuts does.
You know why
their
Dunkin'
stuff.
Donuts did this?
I have no
Because
idea.
it's not Dunkin' Donuts anymore.
Oh, it's just Dunkin'.
It's just Dunkin' now.
Officially.
Yeah, I saw the four brand new stores went up in Connecticut this over the past week and a halch. Like new ones were built, either they moved or whatever, and they're all sporting the Dunkin' signs now. So that's going to be the turnover.
I love
The
how
place
people
that got
are
their start
outraged.
on donuts, we're moving the donuts.
People are like outraged about it. Like, who cares? You can still get whatever you want.
What do you call it? Dunkin'.
Dunkin'. Like,
Nobody said they weren't going to have donuts. They're just removing it from the name.
Yeah, it's the restaurants.
They're just not going to let teachers go there anymore because they're
Right.
They're just a waste of space.
They should take the bucks out of Starbucks.
I mean, honestly,
Star.
Hooked on Phonics can do everything Rebecca does.
Listen, I learned how to read by Hooked on Phonics.
Yeah, Babbel, that taught me how to speak Spanish with confidence. I don't know if you guys have heard those commercials. Have you heard those?
I haven't heard that.
Oh, some
Babble.
guy's just like, he's like, "Donde esteres?" And then like, and it just makes like a little ding sound like you did it right. And he's like, "Ha ha! I'm speaking Spanish with such confidence now." And it's like, good for you, middle-aged Alabama white man.
Caicos.
Toast of excellence, Souls,
Fuck.
Mock.
Mine is
Gene?
it's a joint effort here, but it's to me and Kendall for our fantasy matchup last week. It was exhilarating to watch. We both scored over 200 points.
And
What?
as Kendall predicted, he got bested by McManus.
It was a season high for me, and it'll be the only 200 performance I'll have this season.
It was incredible because every time I looked, I was like, "Oh, I'm down 60. Oh, it's tied. Oh, I'm down 80 now. Oh, it's tied again." Like, what's going on?
You know, I would have won too if
It
the
wasn't
Bills
for those
weren't.
meddling kids.
Yeah, if the Bills weren't terrible, and OJ Howard wasn't a puss. He got hurt. Play through it. I don't care.
OJ Howard got his face stomped in with the rest of that Tampa Bay team.
Bears.
It was an excellent game.
Bye week. Kendall, do you have one?
I do. Garrett Cole joining the ranks of Tom Seaver in his performance. 12 strikeouts, no walks. Go Astros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Souls, do you have one now?
Stros.
Kind of. More of a shot at him, but mine's Corey Kluber for being in the new discussion of playoff greatness. He's now second among pitchers of all time to give 10 home runs in the postseason. Fuck you, Corey Kluber.
He's getting clubbered.
Ooh.
I wanted him to be good, and he sucks in the postseason.
I like how that one bad joke didn't warrant like the private stock sound. It was just like, ooh.
He's a private stock.
It hasn't been in existence because it's just been Kendall and I for quite some time.
And then if we were doing it back and forth, it would just be
Yeah.
Well,
no good.
You have it with you now?
No, because
No,
we
we
didn't know
didn't.
you guys were going to be here until 5
Hasn't
minutes
been
ago.
around for a few weeks.
I
but
want
you
it
still think
now.
it's here.
You can drink some of the candle.
It's melted down.
We can mix some beers together.
Ridley, your toast.
I have 3.
All right.
To the Cubs for getting knocked out of the postseason. Ha ha.
Shout out Uncle Bob.
No. I like Uncle Bob. But ha ha. Yeah. To the WWE for putting on just an atrocious pay-per-view thing that they did in Australia. That was terrible.
I watched it.
It was atrocious. It was so bad. I tried to watch it. It was so bad. They did the Undertaker Triple H match. It was terrible.
Was
it
it
was
also 9 hours?
I don't
The
know.
other one was.
It was, but the Triple H Undertaker match, I was like, okay, I grew up watching it. It was so bad. It was such a Kane and Shawn Michaels didn't do anything. They were just there. They were literally just standing around. Put your hand down, Rebecca. It was terrible. The Shield match was like good for like fighting purposes, but it's not leading anywhere. It was just terrible. That's enough WWE talk. And then
Shield sucks.
Yeah.
Continue.
No.
And then to Khalil Mack for doing something this season again. So if you recall, I think my toast of excellence after the Week 1 performance against Green Bay, when he recorded a sack, forced fumble recovery, interception, and defensive touchdown. He was the first player in NFL history to do that since Khalil Mack did it in 2016.
Yeah.
Well, Khalil Mack has recorded a sack and forced fumble in 4 straight games. He's the first player to do that since Khalil Mack did it in 2016.
We need a hotkey button so we just play Return of the Mac anytime his name is mentioned. Just
I think, granted it's only 4 weeks.
Defensive player of the year.
I think some defensive player of the year hardware might be coming to the Windy City this year.
Unless something really odd happens and he just gets shut
Well,
down.
the thing too is and I think quietly, like it's not in discussion over the first 4 weeks because he hasn't done anything like super productive. But there are going to be 2 defensive. I think Roquan Smith might be able to bring some defensive rookie of the year hardware because I mean, he's leading all rookies in tackles as of right now. He's leading the Bears in tackles and he's got a sack and a half.
Yeah.
His snap count is going up. He's not blitzing because they don't need him to.
Fresh legs, let him.
Yeah, but he's playing really well at the right side
Yeah.
of the linebacker core there.
Win that division.
Nah, not gonna happen. Not unless Trubisky starts throwing 6 touchdowns regularly.
Be awesome.
Rodgers is healthy again.
Yeah, but everyone else on that team is hurt.
True. So we got a loaded show today. Let's toast them.
It's toast 'em.
You can do mine.
No, Kyle, you can do your own. You're 25 years old.
Come on, you had the fucking thing in your hand.
Ooh, this smells terrible.
This isn't that good.
Can I trade in my beer for toilet water?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about this at Dunkin'.
Dude, it's gross.
Save it for the reviews.
Now, can I give a review of it when the time comes? Because I had it yesterday.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we got a loaded show. We're gonna do some. First, we're gonna do the 2 segments today. I'm not doing the double break. We're gonna do the 1 extended break after about 90 minutes or so. We got MLB postseason to talk about. That's underway. We're 2 games into each divisional series, right?
Yeah.
And the National League's going Game 3 tonight. We got to talk to it's when we were on last week with Logan and the Spoink, John the Baptist. We were talking about the potential for 2 tiebreaker games, which ended up happening. So we'll talk the tiebreaker games, we'll talk the wild card games, postseason thus far. We got the whole MLB panel here minus J-Mart. We'll talk some NBA preseason a little bit, getting ready for the not preseason, but just getting ready for the season. And we got a little NHL to talk about. NHL season's kicked off. If you haven't watched any of the games or kept up with it, the big question is there Stanley Cup hangover for the Capitals? Will be answered. That will be answered.
That will be answered.
Then we'll go to break, and second hour, big stuff. Souls, going to do his fantasy pick'em things, whatever.
I probably shall be better than the other guys.
Souls has a big beef with the mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was fucking terrible. I'm sorry.
You guys, we should do, Barstool, those boxing things. You guys should box.
Well,
over
to be
fantasy.
fair, I threw it on the mass, on the spot. Because I had something I needed to get done for what we were going to discuss next, and I forgot about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, and hey, Mass, who do you want to start this week in fantasy? And he was like,
And then it went downhill. I remember listening. I was like, ooh.
It was more for humor's sake. And then Riddler's Rankings is a extended special edition today. And then I'm hoping Kendall came up with a funny name for it. You said you were going to.
I'm still mulling. I have 2 or 5 to pick from. So.
Okay. And then Pick'ems.
Not 3 or 4, not 1. 2 or 5.
Because we know 3 of them are going to be really bad.
But they're still always on the table.
Right.
So, so make sure you tune in next week at 10 a.m. We'll be here, and thanks for listening. All right, postseason talk. Come on, boys, let's go.
Well,
it's my responsibility. Okay.
That's not your
So
responsibility.
we'll start off with the...
Well, what'd you think? Two tiebreaker games, first time in MLB history. Was that exciting?
It was pretty cool.
I was a big fan of it, especially I was a big fan of it because it. I don't know. For me, I feel like it was more competitive because I understand that in a traditional tiebreaker game for a lot of sports and stuff like that, usually it kind of breaks down as someone's going to make the playoffs and someone's not.
Mm-hmm.
So your season hangs in the balance there. But for the MLB, it's a huge disadvantage to have to play the wild card game.
Yeah.
And
Big
then,
time.
and then you look at it the real losers of it, but winners of it at the same time were the Rockies. Because the Rockies lost, then had to go to Chicago, play that game the next day, and then luckily only had to go to Milwaukee. Imagine if they had to go back and play the Dodgers after that. What a shit show that would have been. But yeah, I thought I just knowing that all 4 teams were in the playoffs regardless, I just thought it was really exciting because it was just 2 division rivals in each game, just fucking swinging for the fences, going gloves off, trying to win that division to get some home field, whether it's for a series or not, and just go.
And Kyle could speak on this a lot better than I. But the pitching matchups, what do? Do you play your ace and
you play your ace because if you play your ace and you lose, now you don't have your ace for the one and done game tomorrow.
the way I see it is you have to win today, plan for tomorrow.
Well, the Cubs,
The
Cubs had a chance to not pitch their ace, but it didn't really work out because they lost in the wild card game anyways. Lester pitched in the wild card game.
Yeah.
But, that game went into extras. He was dominated.
My thing is it's a little bit of what Mark said, and then a little bit of my own opinion on it. You agree? You have to play for today. You can't. It's like you look at in any sport, like the Bears, for example. They're 3-1. They're leading the NFC North for now, as long as the Packers don't win this week. But they can't go into it like, okay, we're 3-1. We have a real shot at winning this division, and we got the Patriots are coming up. We got to play the Rams, the Vikings twice. And also, it's like, no, you got to play the Dolphins next week. That's what you got to do. Keep the momentum going. Play the Dolphins. That's what you got to, that type of stuff. You never look past what you got, your next challenge. But my also spin on it, too, is all four of them, we said they're all playoff teams. They're all going to the playoffs regardless. It's just a matter of whether or not you got home field advantage for a series or you're doing a wild card game.
Yeah.
You all made it there because you're a well-rounded team. Anybody on that team should be able to pitch your game. You should have the offensive power to keep it. It's the playoffs. I mean, I understand that, some teams, the drop off from the 1 to the 2 is a lot more significant than other teams.
Or some teams just don't have a 1 or 2.
Right, but at the end of the day, you got there doing what you've been doing all season. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, even if your 2 is the 7th or 8th best 2 in the league or something like that, or if he's the 20th best 2, he's won games. He's done the right things at times. Yeah. You just, if it was me, if I was a manager, I'm pitching my ace because here's the deal.
You got to win today.
Right. If I win today, I get a day of rest and I'm good to go. If I don't win today, I got to play tomorrow, and so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And by this point, too, I think everyone kind of chops down to like a 3-man rotation.
Usually you go
roughly.
3, at most 4. You usually carry 4 starters, but one will kind of come out of the bullpen.
Yeah,
Especially the Rockies, and just all bullpen game. Bullpen game, 9 innings, whole way through.
The A's did that against the Yankees in the wild card game. They just threw the bullpen. Each guy came out. He would go through the lineup once, and then he got pulled. It's just
Didn't work.
It didn't. But I mean, it's not a bad strategy to where every time a batter comes up, he's facing a different pitcher.
Well, it kind of came off the rails in that game towards the end, right?
Yeah.
When they gave up the 3 in the inning, or was it 4?
Yeah, because it was 2-0 for most of that game.
And by, what was it, the 6th? I can't remember.
6th or 7th, something like that.
At that point, you're deep in,
I mean, I like the strategy for a game like that because, like I just said, the batters can't get a second look. You're going up facing a pitcher you didn't face yet that day or probably haven't seen in a while or if ever. Yeah,
but it also hurts you, though, because usually when a starter's out there and he's dominating, he doesn't get really loosened up until the second or third inning, in my opinion. The first inning is always the most shaky. If you get through that inning, then you're good to go.
It's a shame, too, because I feel like that game had a lot of hype, A's, Yankees, and it was very underwhelming. For Oakland comes up the second half of the season, and they're playing extremely well.
What Oakland does.
They just didn't have any pitching.
Oakland did, but I mean, Kyle, we've been talking about it. They do this all the time. They make the playoffs, they make this wild, and then they do nothing with it.
They didn't have any starters. And that's a big key because
when
you're going out there and you're throwing Michael Fyers as your 1, who's a fucking 4 for any other team.
But this is a team that just won 97 games.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's no way you're going to tell pitching had nothing to do with that. I mean, it's just
the one really good starter was hurt.
Oakland did what Oakland does. Now they're going to trade everybody and be bad for another 5 years. It's just that's what they do.
Well, yeah,
it's true. I mean,
all right, let's go wild card games. I mean, one of them was pretty exciting. The other one, not so much, in my opinion. I didn't really. I don't know. For me, I didn't really think the Cubs. Blanking. Cubs Rockies. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't an exciting game to me.
You know what's horrible? We all knew the answer, and everyone's just looking at you.
Everyone's just like,
what? Make them suffer.
Kyle was like grinning. He's like,
Well, the Cubs were a team that's kind of like, and Bob was saying it too that day, that, a lot of injuries, and they not stumbled their way, but they didn't come in like super strong.
You know, I think the Addison Russell thing kind of derailed him towards the end. That just became like a shit show.
He didn't really play all year though.
But even still, like he's one of the bigger names on that team, and that, you can't tell that wasn't a huge distraction. You know, the media's probably in there asking, you know, what's going on with them, what's happening. It's an outside influence that isn't good to have, especially come playoff time. You know, it's just another thing to worry about. With a guy, I mean, he was a big part of them winning that World Series. So now, you know, you're back in the postseason, and I think that was very harmful for the team as a whole.
Would you agree too that, you know, Colorado just had the momentum at the time and Chicago didn't, obviously?
Well, the thing is, I think Milwaukee like surprised a lot of people, and they really put together a lot of stuff at the end.
Milwaukee got hot,
and Milwaukee got hot, and the Cubs, you know, they were winning games, but they weren't winning them in like the same fashion. So the Cubs, they cooled off. They weren't cold, but they cooled off, and then they go into it and they play the Brewers, and they played that game at home, and then they lost, and then
Well, we say it all the time. You can be good all year. But if you get hot the last month of the season, you carry it over.
That was just thing is like, you know, the two teams that they played the Brewers who got hot and lost to them, and then even though the Rockies lost to the Dodgers, the Rockies were hot coming in. I mean, one loss isn't going to derail a baseball team. It's not like football where, you know, the games are played so sparingly and so stretched out apart that one loss can derail a really hot streak. I mean, Kansas City could lose this week to the Jaguars, and that could be the start of the Jaguars going 4-5 for the next 5 games.
Yeah.
But baseball is one game's not going to destroy you because of all the factors that go into it. I mean, in the regular season, you got what? I mean, you have at least a 4-man, but most teams have a 5-man rotation. Tampa Bay did 6, didn't they?
Well, it's different in baseball too, especially amongst the other sports because
it's gay.
Well, listen. The next game you're coming out, you're facing a different starter. It's a different. You know, it's a different game plan. It's just I mean, obviously it's a new game, but you know, it's not like in football where, all right, we know we're facing this quarterback, these guys. This is what you're coming up to a new starter every game. You reset, you hit certain starters differently. It's just, it's a quick turnaround to right the ship. Versus like football where you now have to sit on the loss for a week, try and bounce back. It's just different.
Yeah, just you get back out there. Play ball. Well, so want to talk a little bit about Yankees Red Sox, or you want to keep talking about?
Well, the wild card game. I mean, they're over. They happened a while ago. Let's get into the divisional series. I mean, we're 2 games into each. The Brewers are up 2-0. Dodgers are up 2-0.
Yep.
Yankees Red Sox is tied 1-1, and then
Houston up 2-0.
Houston's up 2-0, right?
So I worked a couple,
which is a real shame because I really had a lot of. I mean, I think they're the least firepower teams in terms of putting runs on the board, but I thought the Indians were going to be a little bit more threatening. I mean, they still can be, but really stacked against them. Now they got to do what? They got to win both home games and then go win a game in Houston.
Go win in Houston.
Not gonna happen.
Probably not.
They got to face Verlander again if they do.
And
he's amazing.
The Astros rotation
and his wife is fucking hot.
lights out right now.
Yeah, all those starters can go 7 innings, no problem.
Yeah.
even down, they'll go.
Well, Garrett Cole just had 12 strikeouts.
12 strikeouts, yeah.
Yeah, I really wish. I don't know what happened to that trade. He was supposed to go to the Yankees, then Christmas happened, and he was an Astro.
Yeah. Well, I think J-Mart's really beat him about it. Yeah.
Oh, Garrett Cole?
Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
I remember, and I've said it to Jeff here, like, trade was in place. They must have, went on vacation for Christmas? Came back New Year, he was on the Astros.
You know what happened? They got drunk during New Year's. Just started throwing around offers.
Yeah, we'll give you a sack of potatoes.
The Astros are that team that they have experience from last year. They brought everybody back, really, except they got stronger in the rotation.
Yeah.
You know, Alex Bregman has been unreal for them.
The Astros right now, like you just said, they have the experience. They still have all their core guys young with playoff experience. That's and deep. I mean, they won a World Series. So, I mean, they've gone deep. That's something most teams can't do, you know, when the players are still young. I'm interested to see what happens when all these contracts come up.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, too, and I can't confirm this, but I feel like compared to last year, a lot of guys' numbers are actually down. But it's still,
Yeah.
It's the same team now. Like,
right.
They're still a 100-win team.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is they're not as flashy as it was last year statistically, and they're still playing as well.
That generally happened. I mean, last year they were incredible. I mean, that was just a career year for the franchise. But, the pitching got better. So, I mean, the way I see it is they didn't have to do what they did last. I mean, granted,
Right.
the team was very good last year, but the rotation got better. So they still went out and won, 100 games. What did they finish with 100 even?
I think they had 101.
101. It's just they're
They upgraded the closer position.
to me, the Astros are the most complete team from every side of it. The lineup from top to bottom is good. Defensively, they're good. The rotation, bullpen, everything. There's no weak spot.
Still the team to beat.
Yeah. There's no weak spot there. It's going to be interesting.
So I had the esteemed pleasure of working a couple of weddings this weekend, and one of the weddings I got to watch.
Weddings, baby.
Weddings, baby. I got to watch Yankees Red Sox on a tablet behind the DJ booth. So it was fun, One thing I took away, and I bring it the very end of the game. You have we'll call it the heart of the lineup up going against Craig Kimbrell. He does his stance. He's very good. Judge is able to, he gets underneath one. He's got enough power to knock it out. And the thing I took away from it is Giancarlo going up there and has an awful at bat. And this is a guy you want in the position to kind of, be the guy to bring in the tying run or at least get on base. And he goes up there and just has an awful at bat. And I mean, I think of the situation now. What if this is like a game 5 or a game 7, what have you? And I don't know if it's just lack of the playoff experience or what, but I don't know. It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, the Yankees all season have been very bad at hitting with runners in scoring position. Anything for the lineup they have, they've underperformed big time in that situation.
Despite breaking the home run record.
Really, if there was runners on, they were grounding out. It's just a weird. It doesn't make any sense. But
all or nothing team.
But if you look at the averages, their averages are all pretty decent. It's just if there's a runner on second, no one can hit.
They go for the home run instead of trying to move the guy over.
Fair enough. But it was. I mean, they could have came back in that game 1. To me, game 1 was the most important one for them to win, just to kind of put Boston on their heels a little bit. And they came back a little bit. They almost got it, but
I mean, Sale pitched pretty well. They pulled him in the 6th. I think I can never say single.
And I'm surprised they let him go that far. I mean, he was pitching very well.
I don't know how high his pitch count got. I don't remember. I just remember them pulling him, and I was a little surprised because of how well he was doing. But
it was I mean, I thought game 1 they needed to win. Luckily, they came back and won game 2 to even it up.
Price, so
yeah, Price has been.
I cannot even believe that the Red Sox gave him a postseason start. I can't believe it.
I can't believe they gave him a postseason roster spot.
Well, I remember. Well, last year he came out of the bullpen for them in the playoffs, and he was all right. I can't believe they started him. I can't believe they started him. I mean,
has he remained winless? Did I read that correctly?
probably. Yeah.
I thought he got 1 last year, but he may not have.
Yeah. It's what a shame
It's just-
too.
I couldn't believe it, and he lasted. I don't know. I don't even think he got through the 2nd inning, and they brought in Joe Kelly, but I couldn't believe they started him. I remember reading, I was like, what are they doing? They know he's bad.
One of my favorite things people are saying right now is Sanchez is back. We're going to. It's a very short-sighted. He could turn around and have a great postseason, but it's very short-sighted.
If Sanchez can get hot and hit like he can, then I think their lineup is very.
He hit 2 yesterday, right?
I know he hit a home run.
I think he hit a 3-run home run late in the game.
Maybe I fell asleep during the game. To
I'm
be
pretty
honest.
sure. I'm pretty sure he hit a 3-run home run in the game.
But if he can get a spark in his bat, I mean, because for a while, he's been horrible.
He's dealt with
at the plate.
injuries all year.
He has. But even still, I mean, he had over 300 at bats, and he batted 180. That's bad. I understand he was hurt, but it's just he slumped hard all season. If he can spark now and get hot for these next, for the rest of this series and even carry it over, then to me there's no weak spot in the Yankees batting lineup.
My thing is I don't think the Red Sox have enough pitching.
I agree.
Their starting pitching, really, it's Sale, and then Purcell's he's always a what if.
Usually pitches pretty well
Now,
against the Yankees, though.
Because you don't know what you're going to get out of him.
I know.
Is he starting? Is he out of the bullpen?
He's probably game 3.
Is he? Okay.
Probably. Yankees, I believe, don't have enough pitching as well. Starting pitching.
Starters, I agree, but I also disagree. Like, to me, they have the talent and start. Like Severino, I thought pitched well in the wild card game. Tanaka, I don't think was bad. I mean, Happ, they pulled J Happ really early, but he wasn't pitching very well. And then there's Sabathia, but like those guys to me all have the potential to go out and give you those 6 innings, but they also can go 1 1/3. It's just you don't know which way they're gonna go. Luckily, I think the Yankees bullpen is deep enough to kind of cover it, but I wish they got Garrett Cole. That would have been great.
A little bit of a different thing we're talking about if that happens.
Even if Verlander. Weren't they in the mix from last year?
Yeah.
Yankees are always in the mix.
Yeah. I don't remember what the details were of trying to get Verlander, but it was also a tough trade because who would have thought Verlander was going to turn around the way he did?
He went back to old Verlander.
You know, because his last couple years in Detroit, like everyone thought he was washed up, he was done.
Well, I believe a lot of that had to do with
the team was terrible.
Yeah, like he felt like he had to make a perfect pitch every time. And when you're in that situation, it's gonna be bad. But you're like, I'm not gonna get any run support.
It's kind of what you call overpitching, or
no, it's just
the old Jacob DeGrom thing.
No, he doesn't care. He's just gonna go out. He's just gonna go out there and throw you 8
I'm
innings.
so good. We suck.
Trade him.
Never. So real quick, let's talk about the better side of baseball, the NL.
What's better? Well, we shouldn't really talk about the Dodgers and Braves because the Dodgers are gonna win that game in 3. So,
well, before we do that, can you give me a prediction for Yankees Red Sox?
I think the Red Sox do take it in 5.
I have the Yankees in 5.
Red Sox 6.
Well, it's a 5-game series.
So you're gonna go to extras. I have Red Sox winning.
Oh, you're all wrong. Continue.
Well, I mean, I was hoping Kyle could. I only caught that game.
Yeah.
And it's
So, Dodgers are up 2-0. They've dominated the Braves so far, which is expected. The Braves are a team that don't really belong there.
Has Kershaw thrown yet?
Yeah, he threw game 2, threw 8 innings. He gave up no
He had a
runs.
good playoff start.
He also had 50 pitches, I think, through 7.
Oh my god!
wow.
Yeah,
No way.
yeah.
50?
There were 2 innings that he threw 4 pitches and he threw 6 pitches. Okay,
That's horrible for
Kershaw.
the Braves.
Since last year and the start of this year, he's turned it around a little bit in the postseason. I think early on in his career, he was kind of pushing himself to make, like I said, make those perfect pitches.
Mm-hmm.
Hit those outside corners. Like he's trying really hard. When you're not just pitching your game, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna give up walks because you're not pitching your game. You're trying to be cute with it. Now I think he realized, you know what? Just gonna throw like how I throw, and he dominated. They went with Ryu game 1. He dominated. I think he threw 7, and Dodgers gonna whoop their ass anyway, so whatever.
Well, we knew that the NL East was kind of like the worst division going into the playoffs, and
They don't have the offensive firepower.
well, we'll say that the Braves are representing that. That tells you everything you need to know about that division.
Well, the Braves are a decent team, but throughout
They're
the whole
decent.
year, it was like
Decent is what.
when is their starting pitching going to collapse? Because they never really
Right now.
because like their starting pitchers aren't that good. When you're number 1, it's Julio Teheran still. Mike Fulton Evans is good,
Well, too.
but he's very inconsistent.
Credit to Tehran. He's been there a long time,
Yeah,
and he's pitched moderately well, and I guess he earned the ace spot.
Like Sean Newcomb's an up-and-coming guy, but he went through his, growing pains this year a little bit. It's just they're a team that's very young still.
Yeah.
I think any of those NL East teams would have got swept by any of these teams.
Well, I agree with that for the point being that it's not really a good division and it's young. But I think moving forward, it's unfortunate because I don't anticipate the Braves winning the division next
We all
year.
anticipated the Nationals in the division.
Right.
And they probably would have given them a better fight because, they have Scherzer, they have Strasburg.
Right.
They have a better offense. They just, sucked ass.
Yeah. That's an understatement.
Yeah.
But it is,
Layman's terms.
Yeah.
but it is what it is. I think, with Manny Machado on the Dodgers gives him more of an edge.
I forgot he was there. Is Yu Darvish still on the Dodgers?
No, he's a Cub.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
If we had a shot, you'd be taking
That's
it.
right. I forgot he went there too.
Chug your beer.
No,
Your cream soda there.
it's a Barks.
That's really all that needs to be said about that series.
I guess you're Forrest Gump.
And then
Braves in 5.
then we got the Brewers and the Rockies. Yeah, Brewers are up 2-0. But that Milwaukee team right now is on fire.
I think that Milwaukee kind of cruises the rest of the way.
Their offense right now, with Yelich being insane. You got Lorenzo Cain, who has plenty of postseason experience. Mike Moustakas, who has plenty of postseason experience. They got them back together. So now,
Did you see the member of the Brewers? I forget who it was. Was it Perez that walked? Because Moustakas was it Moustakas who that walk-off single? Right. So he walked from the dugout all the way to right field, holding the Gatorade thing while everyone was celebrating, just walking by himself, just to dump it on Moustakas, and then missed.
I didn't see that. That should be your toast of excellence.
he walked the whole way. He walked from the third base dugout all the way to right field, carrying this Gatorade cooler.
It's probably so heavy.
But
It's like moving
one-handed.
The whole time I was watching, I was like waiting for him to like trip over the second base bag or something, just drop it. I was like, oh man.
But the thing that scares me about Milwaukee is that besides the 8th inning and 9th inning guy, the bullpen's not that strong. Hader and Corey Neville, they're very good. Their starters are very weak. You have Shishin throwing game 1. Zach Davies. Like, they don't have like a number 1 starter or number 2 starter. Like, they're a bunch of like middle of the road guys that are just put together. Chase Anderson. You don't really have that dominant guy to go out to the
They need a good reliever like John Axford back. That's what they need.
You don't really have that dominant guy to go face Clayton Kershaw.
Right.
Like, it just that's what scares me about that team.
Well, I mean, like we said, they had the momentum. Let's say they cruise over Colorado. I think it'll be interesting to see if Los Angeles kind of has, we'll call it a hangover as well, like a playoff, because they know they made it to the World Series. Will it? What am I trying to say?
I don't know.
Will they get fog-eyed? Will it be a problem? We're for like, oh God, we got to go win in Milwaukee and not have the.
But the thing with the Dodgers team though is you have, they upgraded positions. Manny Machado, upgrade. Max Muncy playing out of his fucking mind.
Right, it's not the same team as last year.
Matt Kemp came back to normal, like the first time around with the Dodgers.
Matt Kemp decided to be a baseball
Just
player
kind
again.
of turn back the clock there.
Don't
worry, hamstrings, we're good.
Gotta get that San
Here's
Diego
Ronnie
out of
Randall,
here.
the best framing catcher in the league.
Frame rate.
The frame percentage is through the roof with that fucking
That's
guy.
what it is, frame percentage.
You'd be having a lot of shots today.
So dumb. It's such a stupid
Yeah,
stat.
those stats are dumb.
Launch angle.
Yeah, that's television. That's television doing all that.
Joe Buck. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Joe Buck needs words.
Yeah.
But the Dodger team's different. They got rid of Yu Darvish. He was terrible for them.
He was horrible in that postseason.
But they're in kind of the same situation as Milwaukee with the bullpen. They have Jansen. Who the fuck else is going to get you there? Who are you going to throw when no starters need to come out of that game?
Mock Sheen Washington. Gonna suit up one more time.
Josh Fields is good, but he's not that good. What I'm saying? I'm not. I know it's a broad statement, but like he's not. It's not like the Yankees who have Britton. They have Chapman.
We have all the closers.
Britton, Betances, Chapman, Robertson, Chad Green. Like they have all these relievers that like if the starters start to suck,
Right.
you're fine.
They don't have that depth.
Yeah.
So, if it comes down to Dodgers Brewers, who do you got?
I got the Dodgers coming
In?
6.
I have the same thing.
I have the Brewers in 5.
Really? I think for all the reasons you said about pitching, you know,
Listen, I'd love to see the Brewers in there because they have a lot of fun dudes on that team. They're that team that like you just want to see win because why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Like Christian Yelich, Lorenzo Cain, Mike Moustakas. They went from the worst team in the league.
Wait, is Ryan Braun still on the Brewers?
Yes.
Dodgers in 5.
change it. Got him.
I hate that. I used to like him so much.
I know.
Fuck Ryan Braun.
Well, it's because, you know, he goes out on TV and just
He's
lies,
also friends
you know.
with Aaron Rodgers. That's why they're like that.
Fuck Ryan Braun.
All more the reason now
Yeah.
that he's
But
friends
though,
with Aaron Rodgers.
Eric Kratz in Milwaukee killing it.
I will agree with Eric Kratz being the GOAT.
That guy sucks, but he's playing well.
But he's the best also.
So you
They
have
also have Jonathan Shoup. What about him?
the Dodgers in the World Series.
Yeah.
All right. So for the American League side, you think it's going to be Houston and Boston?
Yeah.
Who goes from
Houston.
there? In?
4.
Wow. Kendall?
Oh, we're repeating. Houston.
At the sake of Kyle getting mad and arguing bias, I think the Yankees beat Houston in 7.
Yeah.
I mean, they almost did it last year. They took them 7 last year. I think it's going to be a great series if it happens. But I think the Yankees can get it done. Wouldn't be surprised if they don't. I mean, Houston's really good.
I don't want them to win for Chris.
Your cousin.
Kyle, don't group me in with him.
It's just not your fault, man, but it happens.
But I think if the Dodgers end up going, I think a Dodgers Yankees World Series is like the MLB's dream.
Right.
Just for
Well, it'll be
marketing.
interesting when we're talking next week and we kind
Yeah.
of see how things fall into
Shake out.
place.
Kevin Brown, baby. He's going to go to those games.
But if it came down to Dodgers Yankees, like MLB would have a field day.
Yeah.
They would love it. It's just, I really think the Yankees have enough talent to get deep in the postseason. I mean, Houston is a huge obstacle. I mean, so is Boston. But if they get there, I think they can get.
They
past
can't hit
Houston.
Verlander.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You're gonna
that's
face
2
them twice.
games. You got 5 others.
You got Cole. You got Dallas Keuchel.
they
It's a
hit
tough road
Keuchel
ahead.
last year.
You got Charlie Morton.
They got after those 2 guys.
Why
last
did
year.
he become good?
Also, Charlie Morton. Good point. I forgot about him. You know?
Dude, he was unbelievable this year. He had a 3 ERA. That guy had never had a 3 ERA in his fucking
But
life.
Jeff
that's
is just
the
going
thing.
to be sick.
It's one of those. He's pitching on a team where there's almost no pressure. He knows his guys behind him are going to make plays. He knows they're going to score him runs. I mean, imagine just being that relaxed on the mound where you don't have to go out
This guy
and
does not
dominate.
deserve to have 200 strikeouts. In
But
a season.
really, I mean, that's an impressive number. I mean, because that's him. But really, you think about just pitching relaxed to where, all right, even if I give up 3 runs, my guys are going to go out and score 5. Like, it's just pitching for Houston right now is probably the most relaxed spot to be.
Yeah, I'd like to send him my resume.
Yeah, I mean, really, like, it's not like I said, DeGrom. DeGrom had an under 2 ERA. His team couldn't score him 2
He had
runs.
9 wins. You win 9-9.
That's
How are you going to lose by giving up 2 runs or less?
God,
And fucking
you had this argument like I'm going to defend him
no,
not winning
I'm
games.
not. I'm not. I'm just making a point.
but that's what I mean. Like, if DeGrom had that run support, if he had
Put DeGrom in Houston.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It's
You would
just-
have a lot of more wins.
It's
Team
one of
would-
those
would
things.
Never lose.
You might have not lost the game this year.
It's they're just so relaxed. There's no pressure to go out and dominate. They have been, but they
Talking
don't
Golden
have
State
to.
Warriors.
That's right.
Steph Curry's starting for the Houston Astros next week.
Well, I mean, what I walked into, Golden State wouldn't have been a terrible thing to guess.
But the thing is, like, I'm okay with Houston winning again because I don't hate them.
Me neither.
But if like the Warriors won again, I'd be pretty pissed off because it's fucking annoying.
What a great segue into NBA.
That's what we do here.
Anybody else see J.R. Smith and Marcus Smart throw hands last night?
No, but I wish I did.
Preseason.
Marcus Smart kind of whoop his ass.
Now, J.R. Smith and Aaron Baines got tangled up on like a free throw or whatever like that, and then J.R. Smith he wouldn't. Aaron Baines is it Aaron Baines, right?
The big white guy with the beard. Yeah.
He wouldn't. You could have just said, "Yeah, there's an Aaron Baines on this." Like, okay.
Well, how much does he weigh, Kyle?
285.
285.
He's a big dude.
Is that Michael Sweetney? No, he was 3+. J.R. Smith just shoved Aaron Baines, and then Marcus Smart came over and got in J.R. Smith's face, and then they threw a couple swings at each other. I don't think anybody landed anything. J.R. Smith was just laughing the whole time. It was pissing Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum off even more. It was just funny. I love J.R. Smith.
Perfect guy to get under your skin.
Yeah, I saw
Guy's
this
just a
meme of
rat.
J.R. Smith with the high face.
Yeah.
And it was a picture of his high face, and then it was a picture of Dennis Smith Jr.'s jersey, and he was like, "Why that guy got my name on his jersey backwards?"
Classic
Did you get it,
JR.
Kyle?
Got it.
J.R. Smith Jr. You sure?
Yeah.
Why don't you fillet that T-Rex?
Write it down.
But yeah, NBA season.
Excited.
It's almost here. You sound it.
Well, real quick. Do you have a World Series prediction?
Yeah.
What is it?
Contender or like who's going to be in it or who's going to win it or
Who's going to be in it? Who's going to win it?
I believe that the Astros fall to the Brewers in 6.
Red Baron.
I had a repeat.
Well, did you already say that?
I did.
I don't know. You didn't say who was going to win.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I didn't. I did not say
You went Houston.
Houston, but I didn't give a Houston wins sweep style.
Oh, Houston taking it again.
Over.
LA.
Yankees over Dodgers in 6.
Team. They're introducing a new 19-game World Series
Oh my
format.
God.
Goes all the way to Christmas.
They separate the games 2.5, 2 days in between.
That'd be horrible. It gets so boring.
Kyle, Sixers.
I'm excited.
Everybody's back.
Fultz is shooting the ball, baby.
Kyle, I remember just a few months ago. Trade him. He sucks.
No,
Trade him.
but I would trade him for fucking Kawhi Leonard. Hell yes. Anybody would.
You know what's going to happen, Kyle?
I don't know if he would.
Fuck him.
Fultz is going to have an ingrown toenail. It's going to get infected. He's
No,
gonna be
our
out for
first round
4
pick is
weeks.
already hurt, dude. He's good to go for the year. Our first round pick is out until December.
Classic Sixers fashion.
Trust the process.
We're really good at this.
Would a draft
The
team,
IR process. That guy is the future 2026 Rookie of the Year.
you know, it's a conspiracy. I think the Sixers, they draft these guys, then they turn them into robots, and they need that half year to a year to get them working.
Figure out the AI work.
Right, yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, Joel Embiid's pretty robotic. He just
He's fucking good though.
Yeah.
That was almost bad.
But I'd be good too if I was half robot.
Right.
Whatever.
Can you take a half year off?
Yeah.
All right. We'll get to work immediately.
Rebecca, get to work.
Get to work.
I'm good. I'm good.
Hope you're ready to like school buses.
I'll stick with sucking. I don't need school bus AI.
I'll work on you. Got some WD-40 in the car. Drink it.
Duct it.
But it's me interesting. So Markelle Fultz, everyone's talking about how he's improved his shot. He didn't actually have a shot to improve. He just didn't take any last year. So that's a bunch of hogwash. Ben Simmons said he's still not taking threes.
Didn't have to. Everyone else can. Everyone else just jacks him up. Fucking ridiculous. JJ Redick could be on a 3-on-1. It's a half-court 3. Take it.
But if against the Heat,
Dude, whatever. It's one game.
it was just so funny. JJ Redick last year, we were watching the game. He had a wide open 3 against the Heat to win it with 4 seconds left. Fucking bricked. I was so mad.
Sorry, I like the team this year. Wilson Chandler's going to be a good piece for him. He didn't really have to fucking score. Just play defense. That's what you're there for. Mike Muscala, whatever. He's Ursan Ilyasova this year. Do the dirty work.
Unless there's some real surprise, we're just looking at. I mean, we don't even talk about the East. Just Sixers Celtics Eastern Conference Championship. I can't see anybody else in that conference.
Raptors.
I don't think so. I think that they're going to do well, but I'm still not sold on.
Would that be real shitty if the Raptors made it to a finals this year?
Yeah, it would be terrible. I'd be so pissed if I was DeRozan.
Fuck.
But I don't know. I'm still not sold on Lowry being able to take over games, and Leonard's not the take over every game kind of mentality offensively. And I think that Leonard's going to have some rust coming off in the first couple weeks. Guy hasn't played basketball in a year. I mean, I know it's instinct, but
Right.
at a
He's
professional
been at
level.
his town's park and rec, lighting it up. He's getting in those men's league games.
Yeah, against 6'2" white men.
Just dominating.
He's keeping track of his own stats. You know,
I feel so bad for him.
it's
Everybody
44 for me.
shits all over him about how he's like he doesn't talk or smile or whatever, and then he like laughed in like an interview, and like the internet immediately went to making fun of his laugh, like nonsense. It's like no wonder this guy doesn't smile.
Although
Because he laughed, he was like,
it was kind of funny.
It's the Kanye West thing.
Yeah.
You know, they catch him smiling and he immediately like goes back.
Well, there's gonna be a lot of surprises in the not surprises, but there's
There's gonna be a lot of good teams in the East, but I don't think any of them are gonna be able to handle the Celtics or the Sixers.
No, but like there's gonna be like teams in the East this year that didn't make the playoffs last year that are gonna be in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to figure the Cavs are going to fall.
That's
Oh,
not
come on,
necessarily
Cavs are
true.
gonna
I think the Cavs still make the playoffs.
Still make it, but I mean, like, they're not going to be what they were.
No, but I still think they make. I still think they make it as like a 5 seed.
I mean, they lost LeBron, but they kept Love.
Kevin Love plays different when it's Kevin Love's team. Kevin Love is going to have a great year, and I think J.R. Smith's also going to have a good year. I think the other pieces on that team are going to do well. I think Sexton's actually going to be pretty good.
Colin Sexton, yeah. You know, they kept a lot of core pieces. I mean, Tristan Thompson sucks ass or whatever. He's fucking terrible.
Yeah, but I mean,
Kardashian curse.
No, he just fucking sucked. He wasn't even that good to begin with. He did not deserve all that money.
he was a defensive giant. That's what he was. He wasn't an offensive prowess. He was just really good defensively. But I mean, you know, it depends on the start they get off to. But I mean, the Bulls could surprise people. They kind of took a huge step backwards, having Markkanen go out for 6 to 8 weeks, which is that's kind of their guy. But
The Pistons are going to be a different team.
the Bucks will be good.
You know,
but-
the Hawks have a potential to be okay.
But at the end of the day, I can't see anybody.
The Bucks may be the only team that could surprise you into the finals. Maybe. I mean,
Well, it's tough because the Bucks lost Parker, so now it's basically Middleton and Giannis. I mean, Bledsoe's good, but he's fucking a head case.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on the Bucks.
Well, they got Brook Lopez. Forgot about that.
Great.
He's awesome.
A better
And his
3-point
jersey?
shooter than Giannis. But I mean, the real competition is going to come out west.
oh yeah.
A lot of things though. I've seen a lot of predictions for the finals and stuff like that. People either have like the Lakers finishing like 3rd or 4th, or not making it at all, which is like kind of surprising. That like,
What do you
They'll
think that
make
would
it.
be?
just because they still don't like, even though they do have LeBron, the rest of the pieces there weren't a playoff team last year, and there's a lot of youth. I still think they're gonna make it. I do think it'll be a lower seed. I think maybe 6.
He's gonna elevate their team.
Right. I think he's gonna. I think just the intensity that the other players are gonna bring, having LeBron on their side and stuff like that. And, I think we're gonna see a lot out of Ingram this year. I think Lonzo's gonna step up again. Not that he didn't have a bad year last year. He just didn't put up the points. But I mean, he was still super productive defensively and a great vision guy. But
I was listening to Undisputed, okay, and I forgot who was on.
Are we talking Skip Bayless?
Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp.
All right. Shannon Sharp.
And
Did he have a cigar in his mouth?
Shannon Sharp made up a very good point.
oh, by the way, just a quick. I heard there's potential of a works of a show. It's gonna be Stephen A. Smith and Colin Cowherd.
Oh, God.
Now, I like Stephen A. Colin Cowherd is horrible.
Yeah, but do you know how many people
But
would watch
those
that
two
show just to
together-
argue with them, just to be pissed off?
Those two together
So many
will be
people would watch
hilarious.
that show just to ruin their day.
Oh, God. I don't even know what they'd call it.
Fuck.
First.
We'll come up with something. We'll come up with something.
The first Undisputed.
Ooh. Heard first.
Around the take.
Hold on. I gotta go.
Heard first. There it is.
So Shannon
Fuck
Sharp
out,
made
Cowherd.
this point. Where the
Talking
Lakers,
football player Shannon Sharp?
Yeah.
All right.
so the Lakers didn't get perimeter shooters and all that. They got players that are not afraid of LeBron. Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee.
Already, I don't know if you saw, but Stevenson got the ball out on the arc and then dished like a no-look, like shimmy pass to Kuzma, who went in and laid it up. and Lance did the shimmy after, and then so the shimmy was awesome already because it's Lance Stevenson, and then they focus in on JaVale McGee, who's pretending to cradle a baby on the sideline while it's happening. They're going to be the most interesting team by far. Like that team is going to be shacked and a fool ready at all times.
Well, they got those two, and they added Rajon Rondo,
which is huge considering Lonzo Ball is now not healthy for the start of the season.
and they were saying that these are players that are not afraid of LeBron, and I never really thought of it, and it makes a lot of sense because in the concept of they know it's LeBron's team, but they're not going to back down from LeBron either. So, like, just like in the front office standpoint, the Cavs were run by LeBron. The Lakers will not be.
LeBron, they won't be. Magic Johnson won't succumb to LeBron. Luke Walton's not going to succumb to LeBron. And I agree with you. The players on the team, it's not that they don't respect LeBron or anything like that, but like they all know what they can bring to the table. Lance Stevenson knows that if he's got a slower defender or a not as good perimeter defender on him, Lance Stevenson's going to keep the ball in his hands and he's going to work his handles and he's going to get an open look mid-range 2 or 3 point play, and then if not, dish it out. And these players know what they bring to the table, and that was the big falling off for the Cavs after they lost Kyrie. It was the only player on the team that knew what he had to offer and wasn't afraid of LeBron was Kevin Love. Everybody else felt that they had to run through LeBron. So, J.R. Smith got very comfortable into the catch and shoot mentality. Let LeBron do his thing, get open, and he'll throw it to me and I'll shoot it. Other than that, I'm not here to do anything else. Like that, and the Lakers aren't going to work that way.
Right. Question. I saw this thing.
I do think, though, hot take, I do think LeBron takes a huge dip in points per game. I think LeBron averages 21 points a game.
More guys to shoot. Saw this thing. I think Donovan Mitchell tweeted something about Kuzma. He said something about Kuzma. Shake my head. Did you guys see that? I didn't understand what the reference was. I thought it was like bigger news, and maybe it's not big news at all.
What was it, Donovan Mitchell?
Donovan Mitchell said something about Kuzma. He did something, shake my head. I don't know. I thought this was like a big deal, but I guess it's not.
Well, I didn't have it. So.
No, well.
There was the Gurley Cohen fun back and
what
forth.
happened with that?
Tariq Cohen had a huge week 4. He put up like 169 yards or whatever like that. So he posted a picture like flexing, and he was like, "Who's bigger than me out here?" And Gurley just responded, "Everyone," with the laughing face emoji.
That's pretty funny. Because he is little.
Poor guy, he was just happy, Let him be. That's funny. Had a big game for me.
And a losing effort.
And a losing effort.
Yeah.
But it's all right. You're starting to open for business,
Guess what? I'm in 9th place.
Yeah, my brother's team.
Yeah, that rat. I haven't tried to trade with him for weeks. He's declined everything, so screw him. Screw him.
Okay, so
I'm going to burn him to a crisp when I finish.
What happened is Lonzo Ball put... This happened a while ago. This happened in May.
Oh, God. Sorry.
Lonzo put, "Just seen Avengers, and Hulk used to be my favorite superhero, but I think Thor is now." Donovan Mitchell responded, "Just saw asterisk at Kyle Kuzma. I know he went to school for 1 year, but man, teach him something." And then Kuz put, "See, the thing is, Donovan, during the season I have him under my wing, Windows on child lock, but since I'm not around in the off season, he's off my good guidance." Because there's always been all last year was pretty much like Kyle Kuzma and Lonzo Ball kind of trolling each other back and forth, filming each other dancing in the locker room. It's one of those things. I think it's the birth of a really good tandem together. I think that they can have a really good run together if they manage to stick with the Lakers after the LeBron era is over there.
That Jazz team's going to be good this year.
I agree. The competition out west is going to be. We're going to get. It's been that way for a long time. It kind of took a little bit of a dip off with the Warriors being so good, and until Houston kind of reached back up there, but with San Antonio being out of the mix for a little bit there and things like that, like the East kind of got a little bit more competitive, but now it's going to go. It's right back to the West because the Warriors are studs without a doubt. They're the only team in the NBA that I've ever known to have an all-star starting 5, and then Houston's still going to be a force to be reckoned with. Melo's looked good so far in preseason. He's looked like he's fitting in right there.
Did you see him apologize
Yeah,
for
he
shooting?
he took a mid-range 2 and then apologized to the bench for it. But, the Jazz team is going to be really good between Gobert, Mitchell.
Defensively, they're going to be good.
I think they're going to be good offensively, too. I think they're going to take a big step in the right direction. I think the Nuggets are still going to be a team to be reckoned with.
The Nuggets team's going to be very good this year.
Yep, I think the Blazers are still going to make a splash. They're not great in the postseason, but they're still going to make offensive splashes or
I
regular
have a
season.
different opinion about Portland.
Okay, that's fine. This isn't
No,
about you.
like nothing. Like I think they could be good. I honestly think that one of them gets traded this year.
McCollum or Lillard.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be out of it, and then they're gonna be like, you know what? We have to break this team up. We got to do something different.
I think this year is the last, the swan song for the Warriors.
Yeah.
I think that they win it this year, or they feel the need to win it this year. I don't think Cousins stays. I think he's going to try to get his ring. If he doesn't get it, he's going to leave out of anger, and if he gets it, he's going to leave for money. Either way, I don't think he's there next year.
He's leaving.
Right. And I think it's the swan song because I think next year we see Anthony Davis suiting up for the Lakers.
That'd be cool.
No, it wouldn't.
Well,
Yep. Then you guys are gonna suck again, Mock.
Well, you still kind of suck.
Hey. Pals.
I'm waiting for my team. Someone to move to Calgary. The Calgary
Caribous.
Caribous. I like it. Mess
Kyle and I
with us, you
made a
get the
team. What was
horns.
it? What town was it in? No, it was Jeff and I. It was
They're antlers.
Jeff and I made a team. Oh, in Vancouver, the Vancouver.
Yeah, I remember that.
The Vancouver Klansmen,
Yeah.
all white roster.
Yeah.
Yikes.
You see
It
that
was
they
a
played
little shaky
You
out
see the
there.
Thunder played a preseason game, or the Warriors played a preseason game in Seattle.
Did they?
Yeah, they played a game, and they introduced Kevin Durant, and the crowd lost their mind. Like Pete Carroll was there, a bunch of Seahawks were there, the whole Seattle
Came
Storm
out in the
stuff was there.
jersey.
He came out in the Sean Kemp jersey, Sean Kemp throwback jersey. Did like a thing about how it's great to have basketball back in NBA basketball back in Seattle, and he hopes that soon they're back for good. He shouted out the Seattle Storm for getting the job done and winning the championship. Sue Bird's old lesbian ass was sitting in the crowd.
She has a lot of championships under her belt.
She's really good.
She has like 8.
That's where, what's her name from UConn went, right? Brianna Stewart?
No, I don't think she went to Seattle. I think she went to.
I thought she wasn't she the...
I don't know.
I
About
thought
to
she
find
did,
that
'cause I
out.
thought she was like the finals MVP or
Oh
something.
yeah, I think you're right. Actually, yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. There we go.
All right.
Put down your phones. We have it confirmed.
But there's a lot of fun things. The NBA has potential to be very exciting this year because it's and not that the NBA did it, LeBron did it, but it is now eliminated Cavs Warriors finals. It's not a thing.
How mad would it be if it happened?
But the thing is, if it happened, I wouldn't be mad because it's not LeBron versus
Yeah.
the Warriors.
I know, but it would just suck.
Yeah, it would suck.
It would
Unless
be-
J.R. Smith wins Finals MVP, then it'd be so. Imagine J.R. Smith averages 10 points a game, goes into the Finals, averages 40
It would
on
be annoying.
100% 3-point shooting.
Hi, meme face. Wait, I won.
It'd be annoying,
I'm
but
not
then
on the
you'd have to
Warriors?
think like the Cavs would have to have like a seriously incredible year to get to the final. It would just
Well, that's the thing, though. I don't think the Cavs would have to have an incredible year to get to the Finals. They'd have to have an incredible year to win the whole thing.
to
But-
win it, yeah.
The thing is the Celtics are still going to have growing pains with a lot of youth pieces. They do have Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, but you got to wonder if there's going to be a certain level of regular season rust for Gordon Hayward. Again, hasn't played basketball in a year. Kyrie had a little bit of health issues here and there, so there's still going to be growing pains. Not that they're not going to be a number one contender, but there's potential for them to have issues. Look at Kyrie last. Kyrie went down, and then they go into the playoffs. Sure, they make it as far as they did, but it wasn't enough without him and Hayward.
They would have won those series if he was there.
I think if 2 injuries don't happen if Chris Paul and Kyrie Irving don't get hurt, I think we see a Rockets Celtics finals. I really think we do, but it's not how it went down. I mean, injuries are part of the game, but and the Sixers are going to be a force to be reckoned with. But again, a lot of growing pains. Extremely young team. I mean, the average age on that team's got to be 25.
Yeah.
Who's the oldest person on the team? JJ Redick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Simmons has come back for another Rookie of the Year.
but
He's already on pace.
but it's it's the youth movement, and there are growing pains with the youth movement. There's
Look over there.
you're going from being a team that on paper last year a lot of people thought you were going to be a 4 or 5 seed, and then they finished 2, 3, finished 3, and now the pressure's on. Okay, you finished as the 3 seed. Joel Embiid was a stud. Simmons played really well, and the rest of the team was very complement to all that. So now we're expecting you to be the 1 or the 2 seed.
It's a proper Covington. He can go fuck himself.
But that's a
Is,
lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure for a lot of young players, and it could very easily turn them into a 4 or 5 seed. Because all it's going to take is for them to go on a 3 or 4 game losing stretch, which is not a lot in the NBA. But if they lose 3 or 4 straight games in a row, I mean, the media loves to just harass, and young guys don't respond well to the media, especially in the NBA.
Is Simmons still with the Kardashian
I'm not sure.
lady? Because if he is, he's the new Lamar Odom.
At this point, we don't even assume it's just a Kardashian person. And if you're affiliated in any way, you're in trouble. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah, until Kanye comes in and fucking dominates the NBA.
Could you imagine?
Yeah,
The
but
Pels.
even if Ben Simmons sucks, his girlfriend's pretty hot.
Kyle, you would be so mad if he sucks this year.
He's not going to.
Kyle's rolling up
You
his
can't
shorts
suck
right
from
now.
being 4 feet from the rim at 6'10". Not with that.
I got one guy for you. Brian Scalabrine.
Are you trying to say that Brian Scalabrine sucks?
No. I'm saying I am Brian Scalabrine.
You're not.
It's
I-
also funny because every interview for the Big Three league, whatever, every time they're like, you have to face Brian Scalabrine this week. What do you think? They're like, I'll be scoring 40.
Anytime you can get Scalabrine and Rappaport on the same interview, which is hilarious. Chris Anderson was also very funny in the interviews with Rappaport. What a fucking guy. That was one of the funniest videos ever. Is after the Knicks fired Phil Jackson. Jimmy V, you fucking did it. You fucking
He's like on a
did it.
street corner.
Yeah, he's like in front of like a bodega.
Like, do you have to cross the street or something? Like,
I'll
pay
get
attention.
the next one.
Yeah.
So then, if we can, way too early NBA Finals prediction.
God, we love doing this.
Ah,
We love our way too early.
They all love them. Kyle,
Celtics Warriors.
Paul,
For the finals? Sixers Rockets.
We can beat the Rockets.
Warriors, Celtics.
Lakers, Sixers.
Be all about that.
I want to see LeVar Ball in the finals. Oh, it'd be so obnoxious.
You know,
The Timberwolves and the Bulls.
silence.
Never happened, but
You know, it's funny. There's a part of me I hate LeVar, but I kind of miss him on TV. He's just
You can go on
an ass.
Facebook Live. Ball.
he's been quiet.
I know. I need him to say something like about like the flat earthers or
I want to say
something.
that
Kyrie apologized for thinking the Earth was flat,
Oh, I saw that.
but he
yeah.
also said that after in 40 years that he's not going to be doing anything for the NBA anymore. He's going to be at like a ranch off the grid in Texas where there's no electronics.
Nice.
He says electronics drag him down.
I would hate Thomas Edison then.
Just gonna take all that money.
God, man, Kendall gets a whiff of no private stock in the room, and he just goes fucking wild. I almost hate Thomas Edison. Don't worry, I got you a Culligan 5-gallon water cooler full of
Go
vodka.
get
Oh,
a
God.
bottle.
Huh?
Mock has some to take too. After some of the shit he said.
I could take a quick run out on the break.
Yeah, I'll give you the money.
You just come with me. We can grab some food.
We have this giant Bacardi bottle in the room. Now. We're just gonna fill that.
Oh God,
Can you imagine?
what a mess! Because there's holes in the bottom.
What a mess.
I don't even know.
Kyle would look like a giant baby.
We'd have to like tap it at the bottom.
Nah, just use straws.
Ooh,
And a
shout
really
out to
long
my
straw.
shout out to my my fam,
What up, fam?
Rebecca and Michael Foley, listening in right now
Oh.
on PPRN Radio Network app.
Very cool.
I believe it's the
My
app.
name is Matt Foley.
Because I asked him if it was on Facebook, and then I realized we are not, in fact, Facebook Live.
And
But-
I am a motivational
while.
speaker.
In a little while. Let's. Everyone that's listened to our show knows it's the weak point. I'm the only one who can talk about it, but we're gonna go to the break soon, so let's talk a little NHL. The question that was asked earlier: is there a Stanley Cup hangover for the Capitals? No, no. Back-to-back games start the season. 14 goals. 14 goals. Blanked the Bruins 7-0, and then beat the fucking Penguins 7-6. What a fucking way to start the season. Ovechkin fucking on fire already. They're here to play. They're gonna fucking repeat.
You know what we're gonna do? Because we discussed this off the air. We're gonna each cover a game. That way we can talk hockey. Now we're at the mercy of what we have to watch on television because we don't all have the NHL. But there's enough local teams that we can kind of cover the bases, and I think
Bruins
we're
are on. Rangers are on. If you get MSG, and then NBC Sports Network
Right.
plays Rivalry Night every Wednesday.
Do we get Jersey randomly? I don't know who they're on.
You
but-
probably do because you get the Cubs games.
or I get weird channels. But I think Riddler should
Kind
assign
of
his
the regular
games.
season Cubs and White Sox games.
Yeah, the WGN randomly plays like they'll play some
Is
weird.
it a Chicago-based station?
I don't think it is. I could be wrong.
I also
but-
get the station.
Do you?
Chicago station.
Is it?
Swine.
Oh,
Because Kyle just knows.
Right.
MLB Network doesn't count.
Anywho, we're gonna be watching more hockey. Riddler's gonna sign us games watching. If we don't, we get punished. Bacardi
Spanking?
bottle. Or spanking, Kyle. If you prefer spanking,
No,
I'd
I
like to
think-
drink some garbage.
I think the disgusting shot will come back.
Ugh.
That you should do your homework then. I might decline because I kind of like the disgusting shot.
It's gonna-
And Thanksgiving's right around the corner.
Fuck.
Kendall's disgusting shot's going to involve a lot of coconut.
He just give me coconut rum. That's like the worst thing that you can do. You don't have to do anything bad to it.
I wouldn't do that to you. What I would do is I would, in a pot, I would boil coconut milk. And then I would cut it with gin and Malibu.
Yeah, no. I heard gin. I was like, oh, this is looking up. Guess not.
Yeah. A lot of things been happening on. Blackhawks. They not the start to the season I would have loved because they're 2-0, but they're 2-0 on 2 overtime wins. I mean, so you got to be able to get it done.
Those points.
Points are
Those
points, but you got to be able to get it done in the regular regulation. That's what I'm trying to say.
Need to go to break.
But
Soul's just cooking.
yeah, but
With
what's
charcoal.
really nice, and we haven't seen it in a long time for the Blackhawks at least, and I think hockey fans in general, people who are a fan of the sport can get excited, is that the combo of Taves and Kane is really getting off to a hot start. Kane scored the overtime winner in the first game of the season, and Kane put another tally on the sheet last night, and then Taves scored in the opener, because Taves has been kind of getting a lot of hot seat stuff, hot take action, because he's not been the goal scorer that he should be.
You get the Canucks, right?
He's still the ice general. He's still leading everybody out there. He's still the best player or best captain, one of the best captains in the league, and he plays with a lot of heart and intensity. He does a lot of gritty things that don't show up on stat sheets. But 2 games so far this season, he's got 4 goals.
And would you say that was the thing that was kind of absent last year? Was kind of like both of them kind of being, we'll call it,
Well,
dominant.
Kane played really well, but last year I think the pieces they lost in the expansion draft to the Knights were a lot more detrimental than they thought, and I think that they were ready to go into the season thinking Keith and Seabrook were going to take them all the way through again, and Keith and Seabrook are both getting a little older now.
Old guys now.
Yeah, and so it's just I think that they made some rectifications on defense. They're still missing Crawford. Crawford went out with a really nasty concussion last year that did some serious shit to his head that he made him miss 7 months.
Yeah.
And he's still out. I think he's poised to come back November some point, which would be a huge thing. Crawford's a huge netminder, great presence in the net, good at reading defenses and all that kind of. That's a big piece. But when Taves is scoring goals and Taves is getting involved on the point sheet, it makes a difference. It makes a big difference for that Blackhawks team because Taves is really good at finding the open man. Taves is really good at dishing the pass. And Taves is very quietly very, very good with his stick handles. Taves can dance around defenders with the best of them. Taves just offensively dominating like a Patrick Kane, like an Ovechkin, like a Crosby. That's just not his style of play. He's a nitty-gritty defensive two-way forward. He loves getting in the way and blocking shots. He loves winning faceoffs. He loves getting in people's face. And Taves is not, the Blackhawks are not a fighting organization, but Taves is one of those guys that's not afraid to throw the gloves. He's gotten his ass kicked a couple times. But when Taves is scoring points, that team does really well. I mean, you look back to it, 4 or 5 years ago when they won the Stanley Cup, they played the Anaheim Ducks in the Western Conference Finals, and that was a really good series, and Taves just took over in that final, and Taves was just putting up points left and right. And when Taves is putting up points, the rest of the team...
They respond.
Well, because the thing, too, is when Taves is laying goose eggs on the score sheet, Patrick Kane becomes the guy. And so they're on different lines. So the first line defense goes out to play against the second line offense, which is Patrick Kane's line. But when Taves is putting up points, now you've got 2 absolute lights-out stud offensive lines. And most teams don't have 2 defensive line depths as well as defensive forwards to play against it. So it'll be interesting if Taves can keep it up. I mean, granted, it's 2 games into the season, but, Taves is on pace to put up 164 goals this season.
How's Tavares doing in Toronto?
He scored his first goal opening night.
I was going to say, he scored quick.
He scored a goal, and then Austin Matthews put in the overtime winner. Their defense is still absolute garbage, though. Their defense, they're going to be the elite version of what the Islanders were last year. They're going to outscore everybody, but every game's going to be 6-5. They're going to have the most goals scored against and score the most goals. The problem with them versus the Islanders is that the Toronto Maple Leafs had the ability to put up like 20 goals a game, whereas the Islanders can only put up 6.
And the Islanders are going to be bad.
I think before we go to break, I think we can all agree that all eyes are on PK Subban this year. How he's going to PK Subban.
Who?
I don't do that anymore.
Come on.
I rectified with
Come on.
Kyle's brother. I don't
Come
do
on.
it anymore.
Come on.
I don't do it anymore, but I do for PK Subban.
Nashville's going to be a force to be reckoned with. They're going to be for a long time. Nashville's really good. They got a lot of good pieces, both in the veteran and youth movement, and they're going to be a real force to be reckoned with in all aspects of hockey for a long time. They're physical. They hit. They can fight. They score goals. They have great passers. They've got depth on all their lines. They can pull goals out of all 4 offensive lines. They've got good goaltending. They've got good backup goaltending. They've got offensive-minded defensemen. They've got defensive-minded offensive players. Offensemen, yeah. They got great head coaching. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with for quite some time.
What do you think of that new Flyers mascot?
Oh, Gritty?
Yeah,
Creepy.
it's kind of freaky looking.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
He went out and he did a hockey thing against some other mascots and just started leveling them.
Maybe they had a good thing going there.
He was on Fallon. He was on Fallon.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, before the season kicked off. He was just like lounging on the couch. I was like, I think Fallon was like, I mean, granted, he was probably intoxicated, but I think he was a little skeeved out.
He's freaky looking.
Well, he looks like...
He kind of looks like what was the McDonald's guy? Grimace?
Oh,
Yeah.
the purple
He looks
guy?
Like, he looks like Grimace's like cracked out cousin.
That is Grimace. Things have been tough on the franchise. That's why they're remodeling all those stores.
Very funny.
But, I mean, for NHL, I'm a firm believer of 10 games under your belt before to really start evaluating teams. Just because hockey, out of all the 4 major sports, hockey's the only one where a lucky bounce makes or breaks a game for you.
Yeah.
I mean, in baseball, in my
They
opinion,
all can, but
hockey's regularly.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
in baseball, how many times a season is something unlucky or lucky that happens, like really unlucky or lucky that happens, that's going to make or break the game for you?
It could. It just depends when. It's more prevalent in hockey,
Right? Because for baseball, I mean, like, I'm trying to think, like, what's something that's unlucky that can happen? Like, if you rip a ball down the baseline and it's foul, but it hits the bag, it's fair, right? Like, even if it's over the line, but it hits the bag, it's still fair, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the bag, right? Because the bag is over the line.
It's
of
one
it,
of
right?
it's,
There's
it's
a little
an odd
hangover.
thing. That would be a good example
Yeah,
of
Right.
unlucky.
So, okay, something like that happens in the bottom of the 9th inning for a single, and you got a guy on third. Okay, that's very unlucky. But if that happens in the first, that's not making or breaking the
That's
game.
what I mean.
for you.
That's
Hockey,
the timing.
though, I mean, granted, the offenses are much more prevalent these days, but I mean, I've seen games where a defenseman clears the puck down the boards, it hits a little imperfection in the board, ricochets off, the goalie goes out to play it, and it slides right into the net.
Remember that happened to Andre Fleury
Right,
a
and
couple
so
years ago.
That happens, but that happens in the first period. That sets the tone for the game. You are now down 1-0.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sets the tone for the whole game. Whereas scoring a run of the first inning of baseball doesn't set the tone, or a snap, a center snapping the ball over the quarterback's head doesn't set the tone for the game necessarily. I mean, it would if it was like Jacksonville versus the Jets.
It did in that Super Bowl.
True. Score. Fuck that fucking play. Pissed off. But hockey season's here. I don't know. In my opinion, it's the most exciting sport that's played. It's just nonstop action. It's the only sport that's not cut. That's not like paused for commercial breaks. I mean, you see it all the time. NFL games take TV timeouts. NBA games take TV timeouts. I mean, even MLB does it now.
Golf.
But you look at
all
something.
TV timeout.
But you look at like the NHL. I mean, I've watched games in the NHL where there's been 15 minutes of no stoppage, and they don't stop it. They don't whistle a play dead to go to an advertisement break. They just don't do it. I don't know how it's worked into the contract. It's just like, hey, you pay for this amount of advertisement, we're going to try to get you on. It's a highest bidder gets the most advertising time type of thing. But I've seen games where there's stoppages every 30 seconds. It depends on how it's going, but
Yeah.
I remember, what was it, the year the Blackhawks won the first of their 3 Stanley Cups, and they beat the Flyers. There was a Western Conference, I think it was the first round of the Western Conference Finals. First round of the Western Conference playoffs, and Pretty sure the Blackhawks, I don't remember who they were playing, but I think the Blackhawks, I think it was like 18 and a half minutes straight. Almost went a whole period without a stoppage. No goals, no fouls, no penalties, no icings, no out of plays, nothing. No goalie stoppages, just 18 and a half straight minutes of hockey. Didn't cut it once. And for that's why I think it's so exciting. And hockey commentators are the best commentators in the world.
Should get Jim Ross.
I think that hockey commentators are the most talented commentators in all of sports because they're when action's happening, you look at Eddie Olczyk and Mike Emmerich. Mike Emmerich is your play-by-play kind of guy that calls the action while it's happening. Olczyk is your chime-in statistical slash like flashback guy, and then your color guy. And if you got 10 minutes of hockey going on, 10 minutes of straight talking. I mean, I hear more. I get more useful information from two commentators in 4 minutes of hockey than I will in 7-game series of baseball.
It's because it's Joe Buck.
No. It could be seven. The first 7 games of the Milwaukee Brewers season. Some baseball commentary is pretty rough.
Yeah, some of it's bad.
David Wright, after that, when he got pulled in the booth, that was just atrocious.
That was unnecessary. I mean, I'm glad they did it, but they didn't. Why did they do that? I don't know. It's just, trying to do something nice. Yeah,
Swan song.
Yeah, for sure.
Swan song.
Monday Night Crew for football, it's been kind of rough for me.
Yeah.
Jason Witten has struggled. Not because he's bad, but he's nervous. He's just been nervous the entire time.
Do you guys have any super duper early predictions for the NHL? Not
I
that
got one.
any of you have any idea what's going on so far.
But I definitely feel Chicago returns to a sort of dominance, and that's kind of my bold prediction.
Okay. So, like, what you think they finish like top 3?
Yeah, I mean they own their division like days of old.
Do you have a finals prediction or not?
No,
Not yet.
No.
That was just a funny.
Days of old. That's me the hockey button. Return of the Mac.
I don't know if I don't have a bold prediction. I think the Knights keep rolling this year. Probably not. But
Not so far.
But I think they regress a bit. They kind of rode off the high new team momentum, but I think they'll still be in the mix. But I don't think the Capitals go back to the finals.
Winnipeg, Toronto.
Those are cities in Canada.
Those are Seoul's travel destinations.
We're going to have to up this 15-minute break to 20 minutes. I got to go out and buy 6 bottles of private stock.
It's no. In
Yes.
the Eastern Conference Finals. And in the Western.
Oh, Winnipeg is in the Western.
And in the Western.
Winnipeg's in the Blackhawks division.
See, I was not wrong.
See, it does turn into Magic Hat later on.
When it happens, fuck all of you.
What, when, like, the cities move? Like,
Stanley Cup. Toronto, Winnipeg.
San Jose Capitals. Wasn't the greatest, wasn't the picture perfect start that I think they were hoping for, but I think the fucking Sharks just they literally warriored it. Okay, we're a dominant team. We're one of the best. Let's sit on this. No, we're going to go out and get DeMarcus Cousins. So what do the Sharks do? Let's trade for Erik Karlsson, one of the best defensemen in all of hockey. We're going to put him right next to Brent Burns. Okay, great. I think that ball gets rolling quick, and I think it stays rolling for fucking 75 straight games. I think the Sharks are going to be an absolute force to be fucked with in the fucking West this year. I think the Blackhawks face them in the second round of the series. It goes 7 games. I think it's the toughest test the Sharks have until they get to the finals when they play the Capitals, and I think that goes to 6. Sharks win it in 6. There's my hot take.
Winnipeg, Toronto.
All right. Well, Kyle's wrong.
You never know, bro.
well, we don't. But we do.
All right. We'll go to break. When we come back, man of many names, we'll have a stardom, situm, and sleeper for all positions in fantasy this week. We are going to talk Riddler's rankings, which this week We're still waiting on the name from the Red
When
Baron.
we come back?
When we come
I
back,
got
yep. Riddler's rankings. It's an extended rankings this week. It's going to be the first ever Getting Sports with Drunk power rankings for the NFL. That's the Riddler's rankings. Did a lot of homework on it. It's going to be an extended one. We're going to talk about it, and then we'll close out the show with our picks for the week. So yeah, make sure you're tuned in. We'll be Facebook Live, and we will be back shortly.
And now, back to Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Well, welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. Wasn't ready. Kendall jumped the gun, as per usual.
I had to get us back
As
on.
per
Had to
usual.
get us back on.
You didn't have to get us back on.
Yeah,
Why'd you have to get us back on?
because I was out of music time.
Could have played another song. I requested Backyard Basketball. Or Fuck Me Like It's Hot.
Backyard basketball. It's a good game.
It was a good game.
'Twas a good game.
Hey, Kyle, have you ever seen those memes that say it's like the hard pill to swallow, and then it tells you a fact that's going to make you mad?
Yeah.
So all those games were terrible.
Okay.
No.
They were bad, Kyle.
I'm gonna poke you until you're mad.
All right.
All right, so we're back here. We're live on Facebook. Go find us there. You can see all of our ugly mugs. We're still joined by reoccurring guest Maxine Washable and Kate Quick Souls, Milwaukee's Best. Also by the Red Baron. Yep. So yeah, we got a lot of NFL talk to get to this 90-minute stretch here. So Souls, start us off. We fantasy football. It's alive and well. Week 5. Bears and Bucks on bye weeks. If you got them, sit them. And Souls, quarterbacks. Who's
So?
your must start of the week?
My must start of the week is Ben Roethlisberger. Playing an Atlanta Falcon defense that's pretty roughed up.
I also think you could make this the claim to start Matt Ryan, who's playing a worse pass defense.
Yeah, if you have any Steelers or Falcon today, play them.
No. If you have any Steelers or Falcons that catch the football, play them. Do not start Coleman and Connor.
They
unless
catch the
you have
football.
to. Unless you have to.
They catch the football.
But unless you have to.
I have to, so whatever.
I've been going back and forth all week with Coleman. I don't know.
I don't think he's going to get a lot of action this week, to be honest. I really don't. I think it's going to be a down the field. I think it's going to be a down the field battle. I think that we're going to see. I don't know if it's ever been done. I don't know if it has. But I think we're going to see 500-yard receivers in one game.
Wow.
I think Jones, Ridley, Schuster, Brown, and then either
Tevin Coleman.
McDonald. No, it's either going to be McDonald or Hooper. Are going to be
Hooper.
or Sanu. Because I could see Sanu getting attention too, because the shit defense of the Steelers is really going to try to focus a lot on Jones and Ridley, but Sanu's an absolute force to be reckoned with. But they're no strangers to Sanu, so it'll be interesting.
Tevin Coleman.
This game is either going to be like 100-99 or 10-9. All right, who's your must sit of the week?
Carson Wentz. You playing the Vikings defense that got lit up the last few weeks. I think the Vikings defense is going to come back very strong.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not saying I don't think he's the must sit of the week in my opinion. I know this is your segment. I'm just creating some banter. I don't think the Vikings defense is. I don't think they're going to be that great all year. To be honest, I just don't. I think if they're gonna win the division, they're gonna have to do it grinding offensively and defensively.
Tomato,
most
tomato.
teams do. What? No, that's not true.
Tomato.
Just throwing around sayings.
Tomato grape.
And
then
then
who is your sleeper quarterback of the week?
Russell Wilson. He's playing a Rams defense that's banged up. And I think that game's going to be very high scoring. I know he doesn't have a lot of weapons.
More importantly, it's looking like Russell Wilson is clear of his knee injury now, which means he's going to pick up chains or move chains on the ground on his own.
He could pick up chains too, if Talib is in the area.
I don't know. I just feel like that game's going to be really high scoring today. I don't see a lot of defense.
All right. Anybody have anything to chime in?
Those are excellent souls.
In our Getting Sports with Drunk League, we got the 2 quarterbacks starting in our league because it's a 6-person league. I got Ryan and Ben going.
There you go.
Yeah, unfortunately, this was the one week that Brady went off, so I was like, fuck.
It's funny real quick about our league. Last week I needed to draft a quarterback because I had Newton on a bye. After all that, I never put him in to play. So 0
Newton
points.
started.
Didn't even, yeah. I was so caught up about something and I just totally missed it. So it's
You're
like,
an idiot.
All right, Souls, how
You're a
about you
fantasy
relax?
loser.
Whoa. I mean, that shirt looks
This is
really
why-
good on you, but,
Thank you. But this is why it doesn't come with luck, it comes with skill.
Oh, because I forgot to put something in
Yeah,
it's a
'cause you're a
skill?
fucking asshole. Anyways,
Oh, whoa.
It's a combination.
I could just as easily mute you, and I don't like
L.
that shirt anymore.
7 weenie.
And that's it for Souls. Thank God.
square, Benny.
It's a square, buddy.
All right, running back. Who's the must start of the week?
Melvin Gordon. Playing the Raiders.
All right, but I
But
mean,
you
no
could've traded
one
him away.
was gonna not play Melvin
Yes,
Gordon.
I know. But if you look at the matchups today, all the great running backs are playing guys you should play. It makes sense. Just hear me out, okay? If you look at the matchups, you're not going to really... It's hard.
He was the guy who came up with the spelling baloney, so he's...
I know he's a must-play every week, but it's just in the scenario of this week of what's going on that you have to... There's not a lot you can do with that.
The Cardinals playing this week.
They're playing the 49ers.
I think David Johnson's the start of the week. I think the only reason I say that is because I feel like more people are kind of apt to say you have a team where you're somewhat decent at running back. Like say you drafted, like a Beathard or not a Beathard. What the fuck?
say
name? Not
what?
Beathard. What's his name? What's his name over there in 49ers?
Breida?
So you drafted Breida. Say you got Connor late because you drafted late. Type of thing. So you knew Bell wasn't going to be there week 1. So you got
Like
Connor. I'm saying, say you got some like late round guys that are doing well.
He's not wrong.
I could
Beathard
see
is
some
in Florida.
teams. I could see some people. Not a lot, but I could see a good chunk of people thinking about sitting Johnson because the offense just has not been good for the Cardinals, and Johnson has not been good for the Cardinals. But 49ers are not the greatest on defense, and I think that the Cardinals have a good chance at getting their first win this season. I think that David Johnson, in my opinion, trumps for start of the week.
Yeah, I agree.
Who's your absolute sit of the week?
Kareem Hunt
Ooh,
against Jacksonville. Jacksonville has been playing very good run defense and very good defense overall. I think it's going to be hard for Kansas City to move the ball today.
mine's Le'Veon Bell.
Nice. Me too.
I have him also. On my bench.
See, I disagree. My must sit is going to be James Conner.
Think so?
Yeah, I mean he's had the great first 2 weeks, then hasn't done much.
Well, my thing is I just think that Connor's a better rusher than he is a receiver, whereas Bell was good at both, and like Tree Cohen, Kamara,
Plus-
they're equal at both. I think Connor's a better north-south runner, and I just don't see a lot of running in this game.
That's what I mean. This is going to be a who can throw it the most, and I think Connor's just going to kind of fall to the wayside there.
Who are the Titans playing this week?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
He's my next guy.
Derrick Henry?
Nope. Deion Lewis.
Yeah, don't play Derrick Henry.
Deion Lewis is the sleeper of the week.
All right. I
Derrick
have no
Henry doesn't get
discrepancies
the
with that.
fucking ball anymore. He's not good.
He is good, Kyle. He's a
He
traditional
can't-
running back.
Yeah, he doesn't fucking get the ball.
Okay, that's not his fault.
That's not his fault.
It is his fault because he can't fucking move the ball.
That's
Yes, he
not
can.
true.
He only gets like 9 carries.
That's not true.
Why does Deion Lewis get more? Because he's better, right?
No,
He's a
because
pass-catching
he's
back.
yeah, exactly.
Well, Derrick Henry also sucks. Anyways,
Derrick Henry does
That's-
not.
he
suck.
sucks. Anyways, moving on.
You're an
He
idiot.
doesn't. That's
Well,
wrong.
in fantasy football, he fucking sucks. Prove me wrong there.
They don't use.
We're talking fantasy football, right?
I will say
Are
last
we-
year he was a better fantasy player, but I mean,
They're
In
not
fantasy
using him.
football, he sucks. Correct or wrong?
well, this year, yeah,
Okay.
not last year, wrong.
That's all
So
I needed.
I was waiting for Kyle to say incorrect or wrong. All right, Kyle, who's the wide receiver must start of the week? Anybody that suits up for Atlanta or Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I already got that.
Okay.
All right.
So outside of that game, who's your must start of the week?
I just want Derrick Henry to run over Kyle so bad. Can we set that up?
In a Subaru.
Could you almost like remember how like Kimbo Slice used to do
Yeah.
those things?
Honestly, I'm going to go... He's a wide receiver, too. I'm going to go Will Fuller. The Cowboys secondary is very weak. And Will Fuller's...
That's weak as you think. But we'll discuss that in the power rankings. Dun 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 dun.
I feel like Will Fuller's going to have a big... He's going to have like 4
Well,
catches for like 120
He's
yards.
due for one of those games where he just goes off randomly.
Sleeper of the week is Devin Funchess.
Ew.
Ew.
Yuck.
It's because the Giants secondary is pretty decent. He's the number 1 receiver. I think Cam Newton's just going to throw up McCaffrey all the time.
So what? Funchess was your what?
Not sleeper.
That's what I was gonna say. Wait a minute.
Not sleeper. He's
Sit
the
him.
sit of the week.
Still, you. He's gross.
He's a good flex option, but he's not going to get the ball. Paul.
I have a sleeper. Tyler Lockett. Banged up Rams secondary. Rush defense has been phenomenal, but the pass defense has been good, but not lights out. Healthier Russell Wilson. Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett are very good at getting open when Russell Wilson decides to scramble. Tyler Lockett's a speed guy. I think Tyler Lockett has potential to have a really good game. Very quiet. 5 receptions for 102 yards and 17 touchdowns.
Okay, lift your mic a little bit.
Okay.
Nobody caught that.
I like.
Nobody caught it? All right, good.
I like the Tyler Lockett play.
I said
but
5 receptions for 102 yards and 17 touchdowns.
I like the Tyler Lockett play, but to me, he's always like that boomer bust guy. Like,
Well, that's the whole point of the sleeper.
I know, but
I think he's going to be the boom this week.
My sleeper of the week is Mike Williams.
You're saying that
Chargers.
he's on your bench.
Yeah, he's always on my bench. I have too many good receivers.
Oh, Kyle.
Yeah, good at it. Mike Williams, I just think Keenan Allen is going to get most of the...
Sorry, I just got an update from NFL.com. Refs to be on lookout for deceptive formations.
You know what that big stink is about? They had that game where Baltimore had versus Steelers. The one offensive lineman was set back, which is an illegal formation, but it doesn't matter. Like,
Why? If someone else lines
because
up on the line,
there's got to be X amount of people on the line, and so where the receivers were placed, kind of like it made it illegal. I'm trying to remember what the offensive lineman was set back, and because of that, there was not enough people on the line, or there was too many people with the receivers. There were too many people on the line. It's confusing, but it's stupid.
Here's what I think you do. I think you put the quarterback on the center's back, like a piggyback, so he's on the line.
They should not be worried about that. Get this roughing the passer thing right.
They're getting it right though. That's the thing. There's been less roughing the passer calls,
That one on Brady was pretty bad.
but they've been better.
Hey, listen, it's not kind of like they're sticking to their guns. There's not like a gray area. Like, hey, this is what we're going to call you for, and they've done it. So, is it right? Do I agree with it? Not necessarily.
The one on Brady was bad, and then Luck got that. He got squashed.
Do I feel it's soft? Yeah, a little bit, but they're sticking to their guns.
We're going to go to tight ends. This one's he's a
very
must play,
terrible.
but he hasn't been, really good this year yet.
Jimmy Graham.
Yeah. Playing the
Who?
Lions. The secondary sucks.
We'll save that for the power rankings.
Who are we talking about?
Dun 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 dun.
James Graham, whatever, I don't care.
Oh, Jim.
James Graham.
The
It's like
sit
a
of,
country singer.
the sit of the week, it's the Bengals
I
tight
see
end.
the 1-2.
Which one?
Uzma? I think that's him.
Yeah, they said he's going to be the number one, but it's either him or Croft. Who knows?
And Belton likes to throw the receivers.
Well, I mean, when Eifert was in there, he's productive. And last
What
year,
an ugly injury.
he might just retire. That guy's ankles are done, and it's all because of the Pro Bowl. But
It's a quality game.
I mean, last year Croft stepped up and was a good, at least fantasy wise, tight end for the Bengals.
I just don't see this guy doing much.
That's what I mean. You don't know which way they're gonna go.
And then the sleeper of the week, I got Vance McDonald.
Homer.
But
I know,
Falcons.
I know. I was hoping to get this face right here.
Okay,
Make
You
it right
got
to
it.
the camera.
We got it.
he's
Don't
gonna
worry.
stiff arm a few cornerbacks today,
I hope so.
and we're gonna lose.
Yeah.
We go to kickers. Starter of the week is Graham Gano
Incorrect. So is Dan.
It's
Bailey.
guano, by the way.
because the Giants gave up a lot of yards, not a lot of touchdowns. There's a lot of field goal.
That's true.
Sit of the week is
Will
Sebastian
Lutz.
Janikowski.
What do you mean? Is he old or something?
I don't know. He's a Seahawk. He's due to fuck up eventually.
The problem with the Seahawks is they got rid
The
of
sit
this
of the
guy
week.
right here.
The sit of the week is anybody kicking for the Chargers.
Every week.
Yeah, but that's too obvious.
Or the Vikings.
That's too obvious. But,
No,
you know,
Dan Bailey's good.
That's too obvious. It's way too obvious. But starting Melvin Gordon, that wasn't clear enough.
You know that. I told you what happened. And then the sleeper of the week is Mayer from the Cowboys. Been pretty solid. Texans give up a lot of yards.
Fair enough.
And then the defenses. Start of the week. Tennessee. Playing Buffalo. Enough said.
Except for that week they played Minnesota.
Sit of the week is the Eagle defense versus Minnesota. Minnesota's not like that secondary up. And then the sleeper of the week is Cardinal for 49ers.
Cardinals defense has actually not been bad.
No.
Just been on the field a lot.
But even when they're on the field, they're not playing that bad. I mean, they've lost a couple close games.
They're gonna get like 4 turnovers off CJ Berthard today.
Bethard.
Fucking sucks.
Talking to your microphone, Kyle.
I like birth hard though.
Beat hard is how you say it. CJ
And there
beat
are
hard.
Souls, stardoms, situms, sleepers for the
Suck it, Massey.
God. Attacks.
Anyone
Ooh, Souls is stardom, situms.
Hey.
Hope Massey.
It's an alliteration.
Start, sit, sleep.
Start, sit, sleep, Souls.
So.
Fuck you, Massey.
I don't feel like recording anymore. You guys ready to go home?
Yes.
Let's call it. Thanks for
I got
listening.
some CFL highlights.
Hey, Uncle Bob, listening.
Hey, Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob, cup suck.
That was uncalled for,
Yeah,
Kyle.
that's not nice.
He knows it.
Yeah. Where were the Phillies?
180 games. That's all I care
That's
about.
true. Kyle won his bet with Jeff.
You just got to get Jeff on the air. And
We
then,
don't know what the bet was, but
But-
Kyle won it.
I think it's a kiss from Coach.
Oh, it is a kiss
no.
from Coach. Yeah.
On mock.
Nope. I wasn't involved.
Pucker up, Martin. Coach Souls is ready to go.
Well, Coach will be puckering for you.
I wouldn't
so.
say Coach Souls anymore because that's a different thing now.
Oh, Coach Anus.
There you go.
Anus, come on, don't say that.
Why are you talking into this?
Because it works out.
Well,
Because it works out.
it could work better if you're talking to the microphone part.
Doesn't matter. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Kyle. But thanks to me, not
Hey.
you. There we go.
All right.
Massey, I'm coming. I'm coming for you.
Riddler's rankings?
You ready for this name?
I'm ready for it. Hold on. Well,
'Cause
listen.
I don't have one.
So Riddler's rankings is an extended rankings this week. We're going to determine if it's going to be an every week thing or a quarterly thing, whatever for the NFL. But it's Riddler's rankings are by me a power rankings for the NFL. 32, all 32 teams. It's not going to be 32. If we do it every week, it obviously won't be 32 teams every week. It might be a top 10 type of thing. It's going to get a little chaotic. It takes up a lot of time. But luckily, we have the man of many names and everyone's favorite household appliance here today to
Welcome back.
discuss things with us about the power rankings, and I think it'd be good. So,
All right.
Riddler's rankings. What's the name?
This name is totally deserving of the private stock. It's not here, but totally deserving. Here we go. Welcome to Riddler's. Now that's rank.
Ooh,
Yeah. That's pretty gross, isn't it?
Riddler's. Now
Can you
that's
swallow
ranked
a bottle cap?
Now that's rank. There's a colon in there. I don't know if you caught that.
All right, so we have a lot
Riddler's.
I'm not going to obviously propose every stat through the whole thing, but I've got division ranks, records, offensive ranks overall, which is based off of the offensive ranks. All these stats were pulled from NFL.com. I want that to be known now.
These weren't hand-written stats?
From every game? No. So the offensive rank is based off of from NFL.com. It's based off of yards per game, but I also included points per game. And then there's passing and rushing ranks, defensive ranks, points allowed, defensive and rushing, blah, 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 blah. Tons of stuff. Souls, where are you going? Souls? Could you talk into the mic?
If we hooked up like a wireless, you'd be like Justin Timberlake. Souls Timberlake.
Well, we always talked about getting one of those for like Jeff when we back in the Maple days.
Yeah.
The headset, like a PlayStation 4 headset.
Jeff and
Wish I had
Soul.
one, too.
Jeff and Souls are afraid of the mic.
Hey, it's stuck over here.
So you guys ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
go.
No.
You're not ready?
I'm ready.
Full 32 team power rankings. Number 32,
Yeah, say it.
the
Pittsburgh
Buffalo
Steelers.
Bills.
Oh.
Hold on.
No, God, here we go.
Pittsburgh
over there?
Steelers.
No, it's right here. You know, after realizing there's no reason for me to stand, I'm tall enough.
But you're also looking this way. The
All right.
camera's over there.
Well, I mean, I was just looking at the screen.
Number 32, the Buffalo Bills, fourth in the AFC East at 1-3. They're the 31st rank, and remember, the offensive rank and defensive rank are on yards allowed per game. So they are the 31st ranked offense, and they are the 14th ranked defense in the NFL. But they are mustering a abysmal 220 yards, 12 points a game. They had a great showing against the Vikings that 1 week, but other than that, it's been goose egg central. I didn't expect a lot out of them with the rookie quarterback, but yeah, they scraped the bottom of the barrel today in the Riddler's. What is it? Riddler's.
Now that's rank.
Riddler's. Now that's rank power rank.
And the Bills are rank. Like, smelly.
Husker sucks.
Whoa, not true.
And then
I
I
can't
also
check around with
included
the
these
headphones
things.
on.
I'd like to include these for every team. They are -1 in the turnover differential, and they have recorded 10 sacks on the season thus far.
I don't know if I'm gonna like this. This is very dark beer.
Yeah, Kyle, it's a porter.
It's
It
a
literally says
porter.
porter in big brown letters on it. It's actually not bad. It's not coffee, Kyle.
Oh,
Give it a
you
shot.
opened it, so.
Trade with me.
Nope.
Give you $1.
I'll give you one of
Kyle, just
the
give me that, and then
Dunkins.
you can have one of the other Sierra Nevadas.
I'm just gonna drink it. Oh
Okay.
my god.
All right, so just give it to me. I don't want it to go to waste, Kyle, because those are hard to get. Give it to me, Souls.
Here.
Give me that.
He goes, oh my.
Grab yourself another Sierra. Now, right this second.
I keep doing this, Mike.
Right this second.
All right.
Now we got to put this on hold. I wanted everybody to be here for the power rankings.
Just go. Just because you knew Kendall was gonna have to be.
All right. Number 31, we've got the Arizona Cardinals.
Are you kidding?
That's right. That's right, guys. The only winless team in the NFL is not last in the power rankings. They are fourth in the NFC West, though, at 0-4. They have the worst ranked offense, but they have the 18th ranked defense. I think the defense has played pretty well. I think Rosen showed some potential last week against the Seahawks, right?
Yeah.
And I think they're going to have a lot of potential this week against the 49ers to muster out their first win of the season. And, yeah, I don't know. But at the end of the day, they're 32nd in offense. They're 31st in the pass. They're 31st in the rush. They're pretty abysmal on the offensive side of the football. So,
Steve Wilkes might be fired after this year, after year one.
oh, that would be terrible. All right, number 30, the New York Jets.
I don't want to interrupt you, but
No,
that was
please
so funny what just happened. Like the feed for the TV kind of timed out, and it went. So when Kendall walked back in, Rita was like pointing at it like something was wrong, but I already fixed it. So Kendall looked up and he's like, "What?"
So the real quick, I had a ploy for these beers. You know why I got Kendall the Dunkin' Donuts beer? I got them because they're lower percent for a porter / stout, but they're very high in caffeine. So I'm hoping he's just off the fucking walls.
I am amped right now.
I hope he gets home and he's like an obliterate, caffeinated drunk.
Just running.
Mom.
Number 31.
Number
30, 30,
Number 30, the New York Jets. Third in the AFC East at 1-3 with the 29th ranked offense and the 12th ranked defense.
Yeah, defense has been pretty good for them this year.
Yeah, defense has been pretty good. They're +2 in the turnover differential, and they have also recorded 10 sacks in the season. They're putting up over, they're over the 20-point per game plateau, and they're putting up just under 300 yards per game. But they're just
Not there yet.
It's badly balanced. They're 27th in the pass, they're 25th in the rush. They're putting up 289 yards, but they're doing it with like 200 passing yards and like 80 rushing yards, which is just not enough to win a game. You got to be above and beyond on at least one of those.
It's like
Right.
One thing I did want to talk about with the Cardinals being 31. So they're last in offense. I talked about 31st in pass, 31st in rush. They are averaging just over 200 yards a game and under 10 points a game. They're averaging
Wow.
9 points a game and 208 on the yardage as an offense. That is terrible. That's so bad.
Preemptive.
Preemptive. All right, number 29, the Indianapolis Colts. I tried not to make these power rankings. The power rankings, I made them as of yesterday. So it's a little skewed just because the Colts and the Patriots have played 5 games. The Panthers and the Redskins have only played 3.
Right.
So it is a little skewed, but I did it
It's
as
just
of-
how the season works.
I didn't want to
you
do
know?
it beforehand and then have listeners be like, oh, well, the Patriots won or the Colts won. Why aren't they higher or whatever? So the Colts are 29th. They're 4th in the AFC South. They're 1-4. They're 22nd on offense and they're 23rd on defense, which I think is kind of where people predicted them to kind of be
Listen,
for the first part of the season. I think by the end of the season, the offensive rank, they'll climb up a little more because realistically, they're not terrible. I mean, they're 12th in pass, but they are 25th in the rush. They're -1 on turnover differential, but they've recorded 13 sacks on the season.
I don't think anybody's going to dispute where you put him. I mean, from what we've seen so
Yeah.
far, I mean, it's very appropriate.
Last week was tough. I mean, it's Patriots this week.
Right.
The
But-
thing is like
They
they,
had
they,
no-
but they could have won games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm saying like this week, the receivers were hurt and everything.
Kyle and I talked about it. You know, we had to talk about how much money players get paid and stuff like that. And I don't have an issue with how much money certain players get paid. Blah blah blah. It's your percentage of cap. What are the 10 best players in your team making? How much of that percentage is coming out of your cap type of deal? But realistically, Andrew Luck is all 10 of those players, so that's why they're ranked so low. Number 28, Oakland Raiders.
Damn it, the Steelers.
Fourth in the AFC West at 1-3. But this is where the first thing kind of chimes in, or the power rankings. They're kind of fucky this year because of how things are going. Second ranked offense in the NFL in terms of yards per game, and 27th on the defense.
Sounds about right.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we knew their defense was bad, and
But they're fourth in offensive pass rank, and they're 16th in the rush. Marshawn Lynch has looked like the Marshawn Lynch we've seen in Seattle.
Yeah.
He's killing it. They're averaging 441 yards a game, but on the defensive side of the ball, they're giving up 31 points a game. They're 30th against the rush, and more importantly, they're last in the NFL in sacks. They have less sacks than the guy they traded away before the season.
I love that graphic showing Mac is outperforming the entire Raiders defense. By a
Did you see
lot.
the interview thing that Gruden did?
It's hard to find a good pass rusher.
No, not that one.
Oh,
Because Khalil Mack recorded his fourth straight game with a forced fumble
Right.
and a sack or whatever, and he goes, he got another strip sack? Are you fucking kidding me? Number 27, the Garoppolois San Francisco 49ers. They are third in the NFC West at 1-3 with the 21st ranked offense and the 19th ranked defense.
They're just average.
They're average, but they're sixth in the NFL in rushing offense. They can run the ball. That number I expect to drop without the legs of Garoppolo, and I just don't think that what's his face from the rookie there is going to continue to produce all year long. He's already started to decline a little bit.
He's not a good one, right? Not that guy.
No, the running back. We said it earlier.
Rita?
Burrito, yeah.
Oh, I know. I
I
thought
don't think he's a
receiver.
rookie.
Is that whatever? There's no
I
price
mean,
tag
it's
here,
just
so
a
there's no
shame too, because that pizzeria it could have franchised. Honestly,
Well,
we'll never know.
luckily you got the growth starting.
Yeah. Real quick.
Isn't it amazing that his like second option at quarterback is light years better than his like drafting option?
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but anyway, Vito Russo, Stafford's Grill is gonna burn you today. Doesn't have the same thing as serve you up a slice. It's not the same, and that's why we're 0-4. It was all about the
But
same.
you're not last anymore.
That's right. Screw you, Tyler. You piece of crap.
No, I think Vito's in last.
No, my
Oh
brother
no,
is.
it's me and Tyler.
Imagine if he had the Bears defense.
He texts me almost every Thursday. He's like, no matter who I play, their team goes off.
He's probably made
Well, you know what? If he traded me, you probably have better luck.
Ebron had 39 points.
All right, number 26. Number 26, the New York Giants. Fourth in the NFC East at 1-3 with the 11th ranked defense, surprisingly.
Defense has been playing well.
They've been playing good. I wouldn't say well.
Adequate.
But they also have the 25th ranked offense.
Yep.
They're averaging under 20 points a game, just over 300 a game, which is not impressive, not anything that's going to wow people this era of football. They're in the 20s for both offensive pass and rush. And when it comes to defensive side of the football, they're terrible against the rush and great against the pass. They're the 8th best team against the pass, but they're the 29th against the rush. And they're minus 2, I think. -2 in turnover differential, and they've recorded a tie for the league low in 5 sacks. Not getting to the quarterback.
It's okay, man.
No, they're not.
I feel your pain.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, teams are running on them. I mean, granted, we've been missing, like Olivier Vernon's been out.
Well, it's one of those things that it shows that it's not with a lot of teams. You have a lot of teams in the NFL over the past 5 years or so that aren't able to get pressure to the quarterback, but are able to stop the run. So when you look at the Giants, it's just obvious. It's not a small issue, but it's simple.
Mhm.
Both sides of the football, both lines need work. They're not getting pressure on the quarterback, and they're not stopping the run. They're not stopping pass rushes, and they're not producing gaps for a run. Now, granted, Kyle and I talked about it. Saquon Barkley, I don't take anything away from the offensive line of the Giants. in what Saquon Barkley's production has been, because Saquon Barkley has been, say he rushes the ball 20 times, he's getting 18 rushes of a yard, 1 of 7, and 1 of 60. But that's how he's produced his whole career. I was listening to some analysts talk about him on the NFL. That's the way it was in college. I think they're talking about down like over the course of his entire college and NFL career, he's averaging 21 rushing attempts a game. 18 of them are for less than 2 yards over college and NFL.
Right. Mm-hmm.
One of them is over 50, and one of them is in the middle between 1 and 10.
Yeah.
And that's just the running back he is. I think that will change as his NFL experience grows, and he'll be able to find gaps a little better. I just think that the one weakness in his game, I think he's a great receiving back. I think he's got a lot of strength. I think he's got a lot of ability to break tackles and rip off big runs. I don't think he's got good gap vision. I think that's what it is, because the Giants' offensive line...
They're not there.
Well, but the thing is the Giants' offensive line has been bad, but it's been improved from last year.
It's been improving.
And there are some holes to run through. And for somebody as powerful as Saquon Barkley, he doesn't need a big hole, because if an offensive lineman, no matter how bad they are, is semi-blocking a defensive lineman or an edge rusher or whatever, if all they can do is get a hand on Saquon Barkley has enough strength to 100% break an arm or a leg tackle.
I've seen...
Saquon Barkley is like a Marshawn Lynch. You need to wrap him up with your body weight on the ground and 2 arms around his waist or thighs to bring him down to the ground.
What I've seen with Saquon is when he's running, he wants to make that one cut to the outside. Like that to me is like his go-to move. He tries to, he'll run either the right or the left and then cut it the other way. I don't know if it's because if he's just not confident that the gaps will open up, so he's trying to do it himself. But when he rips those long, that's where he's doing it, is they'll run it to the right and he jumps to the left.
I think that what did Beckham sign his contract for? What was the years? 5 years?
5.
I think the Giants are going to find themselves 5 years from now in a situation that the Steelers are in now. And I think it's that. I think Barkley's trying to be the best player. Not that that's like an ego standpoint. I just think that Barkley, he realized the ceiling was high for him on a team that needed a running back and is going to feed him the football. Mm-hmm. And I think that for Barkley, I think that 5 years from now, I think Barkley's going to get better. I think he's going to produce, and I think they're going to run into the same issue where Barkley's going to want to be paid more than Beckham. Just like, because Kyle and I were talking, I don't think Bell wants to be the highest paid running back in the NFL. I don't think he cares about that, honestly. I think he cares about being the highest paid player on the Steelers. I think he wants to make more money than Brown. We're not going to get into a Bell discussion. That's not the point of this. I'm saying I could see that being an issue for them if Beckham is able to continue to produce. I know the end zone hasn't been his most favorite place this year, but he's still getting yards.
Yeah.
He's still getting catches. I could very easily see that being an issue for the Giants moving forward. And honestly, it's the best problem to have. And luckily for the Giants, it's 5 years from now.
Yeah.
So, because with Barkley being a first-round pick, you get 4 years with the fifth year
option.
Team option.
Yeah.
So, all right, back to the rankings. Number 25, the Detroit Lions. They're last in the NFC North at 1-3. They have the 11th ranked offense. This one was surprising me. Kyle, I'd like to get your weigh in on this. I know you're a big Lions fan, and I know that Kendall's a frequent visitor of Stafford's Grill.
That's right. Real quick, hey, Mike Hatfield, thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you. This is one of those ones that's
different.
This is one of those ones that it's a surprise. It's a surprise when you look at what I'm about to tell you. Is that the Detroit Lions are the 25th ranked team on the That's Rank power rankings.
Now that's rank.
But they're last in the NFC North at 1-3. But they have the 11th ranked offense and the 8th ranked defense. They've been playing very well defensively through 4 games this season.
They just can't put it together.
They're the second best team in the NFL against the pass, but they're the last against the run. And vice versa on offense, they're the 10th best team against the pass, or for the pass, but they're 20th for run. And I expect the run number to go up. Now that I think that Patricia needs to get his head out of his ass and realizes that Kerryon Johnson needs more than 20 touches a game. Because he said that he's comfortable with 20 touches a game for him. They do have the potential to have a 3-headed monster on at the running back position, but you can't do a 3-headed monster at 10 touches a game. It's got to be using them appropriately.
Yeah.
Right.
LeGarrette Blount needs to be your third down back, and your goal line situation guy, Kerryon Johnson, needs to be your out of the backfield on first and second down rushing / receiving guy, and Theo Riddick needs to be able to come in and pick up the slack, and Kerryon Johnson needs
Real
to
quick,
rest.
shout out to J-Mart. Use Blunt appropriately as a power back. Thank you. No rebuttal. He's not here.
And the Lions, but more importantly, the
Not
Lions.
listening.
This is, to me, this is where the Lions, even though they are 8th ranked on defense, this is where their real big woes come, is on the defensive side of the football. They're -4 in turnover differential. They're not creating turnovers enough on the defensive side of the football. And this is going to sound skewed, but 13 sacks is terrible for them. And I say that because, granted, Ansah hasn't played, but they have 13 sacks. I'm pretty sure 9 of them have come from linebackers. 9 or 10 of them have come from blitzing linebackers, which there's nothing wrong with that. Khalil Mack is a blitzing linebacker in a 3-4 defense, so really when you're a linebacker in a 3-4 defense, you're really a defensive end. But at the end of the day,
But to your point, they should
when
be
your
able to get pressure.
linebackers are accounting for 75% of your sacks, you're not really getting quarterback pressure.
Something's off there.
Right. Your linebackers are timing their blitzes well, and that's great to have. You would love to have 3 linebackers that are getting that 4 weeks into the season have 2 sacks each, but that means that your defensive line has 3 total sacks. So it's not it's a
Skewed number.
Yeah, it's a skewed number. It's not where you want it to be. Number 24, Cleveland Browns, 3rd in the AFC North at 1-2-1. They have the 19th ranked offense, 25th ranked defense, 12 sacks on the season, and a league high +7 in turnover differential. They have gotten a lot of turnovers, and they have been the games that they've turned it over a lot. They've gotten a lot of turnovers, so they've been able to keep that number pretty good. I mean, the Raiders game, I think Baker Mayfield had 4 turnovers, 3 or 4 turnovers.
Yeah,
but they got turnovers against the Raiders. Second in the league though, rushing the football, and they're pretty much par for points for and points against. 25.5 scored, 26 against.
Yeah, they've been in games.
So I expect to see that number climb for the Browns. I don't by any means think they're going to ever crack the top 10 this season, but I expect to see them in the mid to low teens at one point throughout the season. 23rd, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If we did this every week, what a drop off this would be for them. They're 3rd in the NFC South at 2-2. They do have the 3rd ranked offense behind some great performances the first 2 weeks of the season from Fitzmagic, and still rank 1st overall in offensive passing, but they're 30th in defense and last against the pass. And they have a -2 turnover differential with only 8 sacks. They're one of few teams that hasn't reached double digits in sacks yet through 4 games of the season. Tampa Bay is, I believe, on a downward spiral. I don't think Jameis Winston is by any means an improvement. I think Jameis Winston is an upper management decision to play. I think that if the head coach had gotten his call, his opinion to be 100% accurate with, I think Fitzmagic would have played the second half against Chicago Bears to see if he could lead them back.
Yeah,
like he did against the Steelers. I think that the upper management wants to see what Winston has.
because that's their guy. I mean, Fitzpatrick's kind of like
Well,
he was a
they're not.
stopgap.
They're not.
I mean,
That's the thing. Winston's not their guy. They need to know by the end of the season if if Winston's not their guy, they're talking about $20 million as a team option next year.
I don't believe in Winston, but I'm just saying that at this stage, like, hey, this is the guy we want to be.
Kyle, you're very quiet. You don't have anything to chime in on any of this?
Not yet.
Okay.
I agree with everything so far.
All right. And there's some discrepancies with, if you look up power rankings, there's a couple popular ones that pop up on Google if you want to Google them, USA Today's, NFL, things like that. Mine, if you want to go back and listen to the show, we could post this on Facebook if we want at a later date type of thing too. That doesn't match like word for word what other.
This is what you feel.
This is strictly off what I feel.
This is Riddler's. Now that's rank.
Power rankings.
Uncle Gus, you can find that anywhere else.
Number 22, the Houston Texans, 3rd in the AFC South at 1-3. 5th ranked offense, which I find very surprising, just because they haven't wowed me in any games, but I guess they are putting the yards together. They are averaging plus of 400 yards a game, but they're 21st in defense. They're 27th against the pass, top 10 against the run. They're top 10 rushing the football, and just outside of the top 10 passing the football. But at 1-3, it doesn't matter how much your offense is performing if you're not winning games. And you'll see this later in the power rankings. I mean, teams. It can be said for a team like the New Orleans Saints, who, no matter what power rankings you look at, they're going to be in the top 10 for almost every power ranking out there. But the fact of the matter is the New Orleans Saints aren't stopping anybody, and they're getting a lot of yards, but they're winning games.
Yeah.
If you're getting a lot of yards and you're giving up a lot of yards, but you're 3-1, it's a lot different than 1-3.
Yeah.
After 4 weeks of the season, there's a certain tone that's been set for the season at 1-3 versus 3-1, no matter what your offense or defense is doing. So,
and no surprise, credit to that offense. You know,
this was the first serious discrepancy if we're going bottom to top in the power rankings. I had these guys ranked a little bit higher than most people did. At 21, I have the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people had them ranked in the mid to lower 20s. But they're 2-2, 2 home wins, 2 road losses. They're second in the NFC East at the moment. They're just getting over 300 yards a game for the 27th ranked offense. But they have the 5th ranked defense. They're playing well defensively. They're 6th against the pass, and they're 12th against the run. And they got 14 sacks. The real, and in my opinion, I think what's keeping them from being a 3-1 football team is their -2 in turnover differential. They're not generating. They're. I wouldn't say they're not generating turnovers. The Cowboys, for me, are the team that they're giving the ball away more than they're taking it away. Versus a team like, if you look at like the Houston Texans before this were -1, that defense should be taking the ball away more. The Cowboys should be giving it away less. You have a careful quarterback who doesn't throw the ball down the field a lot. You have a stud at running back. There shouldn't be as many fumbles and interceptions.
right?
But I think the Cowboys are deserving of a high 20s spot. I mean, at the end of the day, they're 2-2. And their defense has played a lot better than a lot of people were going to give them credit for going into the season. Like I said, they're top 10 in the pass against, for yards against.
What's their division rank off the top of your head? They only
They're
played
second in the NFC East.
They only played the Giants, or they play?
They play the Giants. They're 1-0 in
the division.
They're 2-2 and they're 1 in the division.
The whole division.
Which is what ranks them above the Eagles. I don't think the Eagles have played a division game yet.
Oh, that's crazy. It's interesting scheduling.
They had to have played one.
I don't think so.
We'd have to check. I'm trying to think.
It's not that uncommon this year because you look at the Chicago Bears schedule. The Chicago Bears play 5 of their 6 division games the last 8 games of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily they'd have to get a game in within 4. I mean,
it goes. A lot of it has to do with what networks want to buy in for primetime games and stuff like that too.
This thing too. There's a majority of teams that have like back-to-back division games. Like midway.
I mean, look at the Bears. The Bears this year, the schedule is fucking freaky. The last 8 games of the season, 5 of them are division opponents, and then before that, they play the AFC East 4 straight games, which is it's just not common to play.
So Eagles opened up against 2.
The Eagles opened up against the Falcons.
And
they won.
Yep, and they went on and they played.
I know they played the Colts.
They beat the Colts. They lost to the Bucks, and they lost to the Titans.
Yeah. So it's how
they
it
haven't
worked
played
out.
a division game
That's
yet.
crazy. They have their first. I was just looking week 6 against the Giants.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of
how it
cool.
works. They'll probably play in that once week 6 hits. They'll probably play like 3 of their 6 division games in 4 weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, so the Cowboys. I mean, take what you want away from it. They're giving up 19 points a game, scoring 16. That's why they're 2-2. But they're playing good at home. Ezekiel Elliott is running better at home. I could very easily see the Cowboys finishing the season 8-8 with 7 home wins and 1 road win. I mean, they're looking like a early version of that Seattle Seahawks. I mean,
you wanted to say 8 home wins.
They're not going to win 8 games. I'm sure they'll lose a home game. All right, moving up, number 20. Last of the bottom feeders, the Atlanta Falcons, number 20. Obviously, a lot of injuries have played into this. Injuries are a reason, not an excuse. But at the end of the day, they're last in the NFC South at 1-3. They are the 7th ranked offense, but they are the 28th ranked defense. They're 30th against the pass, but they're 6th in terms of passing. Also, on the negative side of the turnover differential, they're -2, and they've only mustered 8 sacks this season. They're just not getting to the quarterback. They don't have the secondary personnel to stop the pass. And as much talent as they have on the offensive side of the football, it's hard to win a season playing shootout football. It's going to be interesting to see if a team we're going to get to later in the same division is going to be able to keep up what they're doing in a shootout fashion. They just, Matt Ryan's just not Drew Brees. That's the thing. At the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to. Matt Ryan's not Drew Brees. Moving on up, number 19, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This should be lower.
No, they're 1-2-1.
I mean, they should be in the 20s.
I don't think so.
They fucking suck.
And I'll give you my reasons why. They're 1-2-1 and they're last in the AFC North, but they're the 6th ranked offense. They're the 6th ranked offense, and they're the 30th ranked defense. However, even though they are the 30th ranked defense, they are of the bottom 8 in the defensive. They're one of the few teams that are allowing less than 30 points a game, and they are averaging 25.5 points a game, which is a little bit askew because from some early offensive woes from Ben, some pick happy plays. They're third passing the football, but they're almost last against the run or running the football, I should say.
Christ.
And they're the below side of average to defending both attacks on the football. They're -2 in turnover differential, but again, that comes from some early Ben woes. They have generated a few turnovers, but they have 13 sacks in the season. They're getting to the quarterback.
Last game.
19th for me is where the Pittsburgh Steelers rank, and simply for the fact that it's because the offense is just too high powered to not have them a little higher, in my opinion. I mean, I went between the Steelers and the Falcons for 19 and 20, and in my opinion, I just think that the Falcons' defense is in worse shape than the Steelers' defense.
You know, it's funny today because they're playing each other. It's kind of like two mirror teams.
The reason that they outranked them was simply because of sacks, 13-8. It's a lot. 5 sacks.
Yeah,
5 sacks is a big difference. Most teams don't get 5 sacks in a game, which shows you that the Falcons are struggling to get to the quarterback, and the Steelers are having success getting there. 4 games, you guys have 13 sacks. You're averaging +2 a game.
Except last week, we didn't really get to them.
But you're averaging +2 a game, which is important.
Hey, that game's in the past.
Or, sorry, +3 a game.
Forward.
+3.
Sucks. We got to move forward. Otherwise, you're going nowhere.
Number 18, another one that would have been a huge drop off if we did one every week. The Miami Dolphins. They are first in the AFC East at 3-1. But they are the 30th ranked offense and the 26th ranked defense. They're 28th and 25th against the pass and run, respectively, and then 26th and 20th against the pass and rank, respectively. Rush, respectively. They are +4 in turnover differential, but they've only mustered 6 sacks on the season. They're not getting to the quarterback at all. I think that the Patriots snapped the dreamland that the Dolphins are living in. Tannehill's been playing good football. He's averaging.
He's been playing safe football.
No, he's not. That's the thing, though, because if you look at Tannehill, I don't know what they were before or after the Patriots game, but before the Patriots game, Tannehill was throwing the football at 70% completions at 9.8 yards an attempt, which is a lot. 9.8 yards an attempt is a lot when you consider how much teams love checkdowns, screens, dishes outs, the tight ends, things like that. So 9.8 yards an attempt, he's throwing the ball down the field. He was getting a lot of touchdowns on dink and dunk passes, pitches, things like that. So at the end of the day, they're not mustering a lot. I mean, they're just shy of 300 yards a game, but they're only averaging 20 points a game. So they took a big drop off. I mean, not that they were. If I did this every week, I don't think the Dolphins probably would have made 10 at 3-0 that week.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would have ever gone higher than that because they weren't winning in blowout fashions. They weren't winning in, oh my God, look at the Dolphins fashion. The oh my God thing of the Dolphins was that they're 3-0 going up against a struggling Patriots team, and the Patriots proved that they are still the Patriots.
That game was in New England?
Yes.
So, if you want to play to that, what's, the past,
but the thing is,
play better
and that's why they dropped too,
first,
because if you're going to be a legitimate 3-0 team, you got to be able to go into an division opponent's home and win a game.
I agree.
You're 3-0. You're 3-0, and they were, what, at the time, 1-2? Yeah. So you got to be able to go in.
Could have been a statement for them.
Exactly.
And they couldn't perform.
Number 17, the Denver Broncos. They're second in the AFC West at 2-2. 13th ranked offense, 17th ranked defense. They're third in terms of rushing the football, and they're 8th in terms of stopping the run. They are at 10 sacks, which is a little low, I feel like, given that defensive front, but they are -3 in turnover differential because Case Keenum sucks ass. The Denver Broncos should be 3-1 right now. Case Keenum should have hit Demaryius Thomas in that Chiefs game.
Yep.
Wide open, overthrown by a long shot.
Yep.
But they're 2-2, and because of that, they rank 17th because they just haven't been super impressive in any fashion of the game. They're above average.
Boring ass team.
Yeah, they're above average in defense. They're average in offense because of the rushing.
Well, so would you agree? I was just saying the rushing has been the bright spot. Would you agree with that? I mean, surprisingly, that got Lindsey
and Royce Freeman have been really pounding it.
Start Freeman, but
No, Lindsey's been doing well.
I still want them to start Freeman.
It's just you have him.
Yeah.
Fantasy aside.
All right, 17. Or sorry,
16th.
16th. My bad. I was looking at the Excel number. 16th, Seattle Seahawks. Second in the NFC West at 2-2. They are the 28th ranked offense, but they're the 7th ranked defense. They are 5th against the pass and 7th, or they're 5th against the pass, but they're 27th against the rush. And then they're 29th passing, 17th rushing. They have 9 sacks, kind of what you expect. Losing a lot of edge rushers and stuff like that over the time. They're +4 in turnover differential. Russell Wilson's being careful with the football. And the defense is generating a lot of interceptions, which is why I kind of bumped them up a little bit as to where I normally originally had them. I originally had them at 20. But they're generating a lot of interceptions, which is keeping them in ball games. And I'm not going to be surprised. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they make a wild card push. The biggest loss that they've gained over the past 4 years is they've lost the 12th man advantage. Going to Seattle to play a football game is not as hard as it used to be.
Well, and the Legion of Boom is gone. I mean, that
I think
defense was dominant.
I think it's more the 12th man thing, though. I just think the fans have realized that Seattle's a little bit on a decline, and they are not as electric as they used to be.
Mhm.
Whereas, like, Arrowhead is still, electric.
Loud.
Booming.
Booming, as
Number
Kyle would
15,
say.
the Washington Redskins. First in the NFC East at 2-1.
I love the makeup of that team.
They are 14th in offense. And get this. Big surprise to me. 3rd in defense. They are 3rd against the pass and 7th against the run.
Norman, baby.
And they are also 5th in terms of running the football. They're averaging just shy of 400 yards a game. They're averaging 21 points a game. They're on the plus side for turnover differential, but they've only recorded 7 sacks. But granted, they've missed a game. They've already had their bye week. So that's to be, I would expect them to be about 10 if they had played 4 games.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the Washington Redskins, after a bye week, an early bye week, where a lot of games are kind of up in the air, teams haven't really found their identity yet, still leading the division after a bye week. Adrian Peterson looks like a solid rusher, not the Adrian Peterson of old, but he looks like a solid rusher. Alex Smith takes care of the football, and they're moving the chains, and they're putting up points when it needs to be. They're not blowing people out of the water, but they're scoring 21 points a game, and they're only giving up 15.
Chris Thompson, baby.
Number 14, the Minnesota Vikings. 3rd in the NFC North at 1-2-1. They have the 12th ranked offense and the 20th ranked defense. They are top 5 in terms of throwing the football and dead last in running the football.
I don't even think they run the football.
They are 13th in stopping the run, but they're 22nd in stopping the pass. Secondary has not been good so far this season through 4 games. They're not generating a lot of turnovers. They're not stopping a lot of receivers. I mean, granted, they did play an explosive Rams team, but you guys were solidified before the season started as the best secondary in football.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you gotta hold them to 10 yards, but
Imagine that.
It's the same thing too. And to my knowledge, Terrence Newman's still there. Correct. Terrence Newman. I mean, Terrence Newman. The guy is 30-something years old. He's played forever, and you can't put it all on Harrison Smith. He's a strong safety. He's a free safety. I can't remember one of the two. You can't be.
Well, no, their corners are pretty good. They have Xavier Rhodes.
Xavier Rhodes is not young either.
He's pretty young. It's like 26.
I was going to say, he's like 26,
He
27.
just got drafted.
Well, the shelf life of a cornerback is much
Oh,
shorter.
yeah.
No,
than
I get it, but I'm just saying.
But I mean, think about it. It's not like
we gotta wrap it up. We gotta get to our score predictions. We're only
Have
gonna
an hour left.
We'll rapid fire the score predictions. I'm sorry, I've been
13th, the Philadelphia Eagles, 3rd in the NFC East at 2-2, 20th ranked offense, 10th ranked defense. They're number 1 against the run. Nobody's running on them so far this season. And they're middle of the road for offensive in terms of passing and rushing the football. They are -3 in turnover differential, but they got 11 sacks. I just think that the Eagles, I think the Titans are a lot better than a lot of people have given them credit for so far this season. And they went in and they beat a quote-unquote healthy Atlanta Falcons team to start the season. Can't take that away from them. I mean, granted, Neal went down with the injury in that game, right? But when the Falcons started the season, the Falcons were hot, and they were ready to go, and they were healthy. And it's been all downhill health-wise for them, but they went in and they won that Week 1 game, and they showed that they're able to run with the big dogs still, and I think it's just a matter of time before the Eagles start putting pieces together. They got Alshon Jeffrey back, and I still think they're a force to be reckoned with. They're still in games. Number 12, the Chargers. 3rd in the AFC West at 2-2. I had them higher than I originally had them because they have put together some wins. They're still 9th in offense. They're 22nd in defense. They got a lot to fix. They are on the plus side, if just barely in terms of turnover differential. But they only have 8 sacks, but they're throwing the football well. They're slinging it around. I expect this number to go way up once November hits and they get Bosa back.
I'd say the defense, I mean, we talked about it before the season. We were kind of high on their defense, and they've been underperforming.
They missed Bosa.
Yeah.
Bosa was supposed to be back much earlier than he's going to be back now. I think Bosa was supposed to originally quoted for a week 3 comeback, and now it's looking like November. So, number 11, the Tennessee Titans. First in the AFC South at 3-1.
The ugliest team in the world.
They are 26th in offense, 15th in defense, but at the end of the day,
they win football games.
Yeah, they're scoring 19 points. They're giving up 18, and it's been close games.
Thanks to Derrick Henry, by the way.
He has nothing to do with any of it, anyways.
They're +1 in the turnover differential. They've got 12 sacks, so they're getting to the quarterback. They're middle of the road in terms of offense, rushing the football, but they're on the lower end for passing. Just like they're better against stopping the pass than they are against stopping the run. But at the end of the day, they're 3-1. They're leading a division with a high-powered Jacksonville defense in it, and they're winning games. Number 10, the Green Bay Packers. Second in the NFC North at 2-1-1. 17th ranked offense, 6th ranked defense. That was a big surprise to me, too. Coming into the season, I think a lot of people wrote them off defensively. I did. I know that personally. But they're 7th against the pass. They're 16th against the rush. They're 15th in passing and 19th in rushing. And they're just, it's another close one. They're giving up 21 points a game, and they're scoring 23. And other than that Bills game, it's been close games.
They have a lot of kids that are starting to produce for them.
Number 9, Cincinnati Bengals. First in the AFC North at 3-1. 16th offense, 29th on the defensive side of the football. They're just middle of the road, a little bit above average in passing, a little bit below average in rushing. And they're defensively, they're just not that good. They're below average in both categories. They're -2 in turnovers. Dalton's throwing picks, but they're winning games. They got 10 sacks. But at the end of the day, they're 3-1. They're putting together some strong wins. A.J. Green's doing A.J. Green things. And then they've handled the adversity of injuries to running backs very well. Number 9, the New England Patriots. Second in the AFC East. They got a big bump up after beating the Dolphins and the Colts. They're 3-2. They're still 19th in offense, though, which is surprising for a Patriots offense. I think that number will go way up with Edelman back. And they are 15th in defense. Or, sorry, they're 16th in defense, my bad. Not getting to the quarterback a lot. 7 sacks, not getting a lot of turnovers.
The defense needs a lot of work still.
But at the end of the day, the New England Patriots, they're still winning. They're winning games now. Number 6, the Carolina Panthers, second in the NFC South at 2-1. They are 18th offensively, and they are 13th defensively. They're playing well-rounded football in terms of offensive and defensive production as a whole. But on the offensive side of the football, they are near the bottom of the barrel in passing, but they're number 1 in rushing. They're mid-range in both defensive categories. They're +4 in turnovers, 8 sacks. Again, that's getting to the quarterback pretty effectively when you consider they've only played 3 games. The only reason I have them 7th is because they played 3 games. The team above them played 4. That's why. I mean, it's a little biased, but whatever. So number 6 is the Chicago Bears. They're first in the NFC North as of right now at 3-1. They have the 24th ranked offense and the 4th ranked defense. They are 9th against the pass, 2nd against the run. The defense is playing really well. They're +6 in turnover differential.
Khalil Mack.
They have 18 sacks, which leads the NFL. They're 10th in offense, 23rd in passing. I don't really know if I expect that number to go up in terms of passing. We got to see what Trubisky does coming out of the bye. But at the end of the day, they're 3-1. We don't like to play the should game here, but they should be 4-0.
Right.
Matt Nagy's fault. Came out conservative and flat in the second half. They should have won that game. But like I said, at the end of the day, they're 3-1, and their defense is stopping teams.
Yeah, for sure.
The Pittsburgh Steelers showed that you can beat Fitzmagic, and then the Bears decided to show that you can bottle Fitzmagic and completely destroy it.
Get him
they
benched.
did, and they destroyed him.
Get him benched. Shout out Dave Sanderson tuning in towards the end, but thank you.
Number 5 is the 3-1 New Orleans Saints, first in the NFC South, 4th ranked offense, 24th ranked defense. They're 7th in pass, 18th in rush. They are -1 in the turnover differential, but they've got 9 sacks. Like I said earlier, we were talking about the Falcons, and we were talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you're going to play shootout football, your defenses are going to be struggling. Your offenses
Don't do it against Breeze.
Your offenses are going to be great, but there's a big difference between 1-3 and 3-1.
I think the Saints defense is getting better there.
They're 3rd against the rush, but they're almost last against the pass.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Number 4, Jacksonville Jaguars, 2nd in the AFC South at 3-1. 15th ranked offense, 1st ranked defense. They are 1st against the pass, but 10th against the run. Teams are able to move the ball a little bit against them on the ground. Not in copious amounts, but they're able to. I think a lot of that has to go with Saquon Barkley. I think that he kind of had a big dent in that number because he ripped off a pretty big run against them. Offensive-wise, though, they're just middle of the pack. They're only putting up 22 points a game, which is great when your defense only allows 14 points a game, but every defense has a goose egg game, much like the Bears. You know, that number could drop if you do a week-to-week rankings because if the offense goes out and puts up a goose egg, or I mean, if your defense goes out and puts up a goose egg, people like Bortles, they're not built to throw 6 touchdowns and 380 yards. That's just not how they work. Number 3 is the Baltimore Ravens. They are 2nd in the AFC North at 3-1. Which I'm not sure.
Chug that beer.
I'm not sure why they're 2nd.
You want to know why? Was that kind of like a question that you're just posing?
Well, sure, but I don't know why they're 2nd because they beat the Steelers, and I don't think the Bengals have played a division game yet.
They played each other.
Who?
I think the Bengals and the Ravens, don't they?
Did they play each other already?
I think the Ravens.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, the Ravens. Okay, so the Ravens. So then the Ravens should be first at 2-0 in the division.
I think the Bengals.
I think the Bengals beat them.
Oh, so they have them on the head-to-head matchup then?
Yeah.
Okay. No, because the Bengals are 1-0 in the division. They haven't played anybody else in the division yet. Okay, all right. My bad. Anyway, they're 10th ranked offense. They're 2nd ranked defense. I mean, I understand that Joe Flacco's
They've given
not
up
an
no
elite
second
quarterback.
half points.
Yeah, they've given up no second half points yet this season. I know that Joe Flacco's not an elite quarterback. I agree with you on that, Kyle. But at the end of the day, they're 10th ranked in the offense, 2nd ranked in the defense.
What sucks is that they get Jimmy fucking Smith back today.
They're 4th against the pass.
Could be rusty.
They're only going to get better with that. They're 4th against the pass, and they're 4th against the rush. They're 8th in terms of passing the football. They're 23rd against in terms of rushing the football. Joe Flacco showing that he can put up numbers when it comes to having weapons around him. They got 10 sacks. The big thing for them is they've got a goose egg in the turnover column. They're 0 in terms of turnover differential, but so they're 3-1, and they're, especially with the win against the Steelers, they're winning in more impressive fashion than the Bengals. They just happen to both be 3-1. Number 2 is the Kansas City Chiefs, AFC West leaders at 4-0, 8th ranked offense, but the last ranked defense. They're 9th for the pass, 13th for the rush, but they're almost dead last against the pass, and they're close to dead last against the rush. They only have a 2 turnover differential. They got 10 sacks, which is pretty good. They're putting up 36 points a game, but they're giving up 28 points a game. That's just why they're 2nd. The Rams, number 1, 1st in the NFC West, also 4-0. They have the 1st ranked offense. They're putting up just under 500 yards a game. They're 2nd in terms of pass, 7th in terms of rush.
Rams have been impressive.
They're a top 10 defense with 14th against the pass, 5th against the run, 4 in the turnover column, which is impressive because they're not a turnover-generating defense, but their offense isn't a turnover-generating offense. And the only number for the entire Rams organization that stands out to me is that they haven't reached double-digit sacks after 4 games. But
Yeah.
That's my Riddler's rankings.
No. Riddler. Now that's rank.
Someone
Come
get
on.
this guy some green alcohol.
Come on, say it with me.
All right, start rattling off games.
Well, we'll get through them pretty quick, I think. But did you guys like the rankings?
Yeah.
I did.
Something you guys would like to do later in the future?
I'll tell you. The rankings, they were rank.
Shut up and put the games up, man.
All
Shipping
right,
what?
game number 1, 1 o'clock kickoff. We have the Tennessee Titans visiting the Buffalo Bills.
Titans 17-0.
Oh, you have to go that fast. You can talk about it for a second.
We have 20 minutes.
Yeah, we got time.
Yeah.
We can go over a minute.
Titans I think I don't even think it's going to be like a great
Save the rushing
game.
for the beer reviews.
I think the Titans win 21-7.
Bills have proved they're going nowhere fast. I think the Titans are nothing special either. I think Titans win with a 10-point victory. We'll call it 30-20 today, Tennessee.
I think it's a close game.
Derrick
I think the Titans win 21-17.
70 yards.
I just don't think they have the offensive firepower. Even the Bills' defense is not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible.
Well, Fonte Davis.
But
Anyway,
you lose an average piece of an average defense. It's still average. I just think it's close. I think it's 21-17 Titans. New York Giants visiting the Carolina Panthers.
McCaffrey's going to have a big day.
I don't think so. I think he'll have a decent. I don't think he's really going to go off. They can stop him out of the back. He's not a great between the tackles runner. He's okay, but he's a better pass catching back. He's very good. Don't get me wrong, but I think the Giants will be able to contain him, or at least that's the key to them winning is containing him.
What's your prediction?
Panthers 24, Giants 17.
I have the same score, but the opposite. Giants 24, Panthers 17.
I have Carolina holding on. I think they're playing better football right now. We'll call it close.
You got a stupid shirt.
Whoa, it's a jersey, by the way. 27-20, Carolina.
Talk about the shirt.
24-24 tie.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. I think that tie. I think the Giants find some offensive rhythm.
Dave Sanderson, where does Kevin Nash rank? Number one in the power rankings.
3-1 Miami Dolphins visiting the 3-1 Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals on the rise, Dolphins on the fall. Even though the Bengals defense is not that great, I think that they are more poised to win an offensive shootout by far. I think the Bengals walk out of this 31-24 victors.
This game's kind of interesting to me because the Dolphins are looking to kind of bounce back, and I mean the Bengals have been playing well, but Bernard just went down. Mixon's coming back, so like it's kind of up in the air.
Today, though.
I think he is.
Is he playing today?
I believe so. So it's kind of up in the air. I think the Bengals pull it out, but I think it'll be like a last second, almost like last week with the AJ Green last second touchdown.
That was a great game.
It was a good game, and that was an incredible catch.
Yeah, for
at the
sure.
end. But I think the Bengals win 27-21.
All right.
It was a good game.
Are you kidding me, Rebecca?
Oh my goodness!
Get
Fire
her out.
Show's over.
Kyle?
What game was it again?
All right, so Baltimore is visiting Cleveland now. Kyle's missed that one. He's too busy looking at his fantasy teams.
I'm sorry.
3-1 Baltimore Ravens visiting the 1-2-1 Browns. I think the Ravens' pass defense is able to stifle Baker Mayfield. I still think it's an exciting game to start, but I think the Ravens end up pulling away. I see the Ravens winning 28-18.
I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. I don't think any offenses really get anything going. I think it's going to be 10-3 Ravens.
Wow.
I have the Browns winning.
Got a boy.
Listen, I like Cleveland this year. They've the last few years, I mean, they've been right in every game. And even this year, they're right in there. It's a division game. I mean, we've watched the Browns play these division games. They hang with these teams. I think the Browns win 17-14.
Ravens are playing well enough.
Cleveland's at home too.
I'm not concerned about that. I like Cleveland a lot. They play well. Ravens right now are in a great position. I think they roll, and they roll big. Honestly, I think they roll big. 48. We'll call it 48-22. 22. NFL odd scores. I need 58 seconds to get to the bathroom. Count it.
All right, Green Bay Packers visiting the Detroit Lions.
I think the... I don't even know.
You were confident, and then you thought about it. I think Jesus, I did the same thing. All the Packers receivers are hurt, but it's still Aaron Rodgers.
And it's still the Lions.
You know what? The Lions win 21-14.
Packers win 21-14.
All right.
Usually Aaron Rodgers is going to throw a Hail Mary with time expiring, win the game.
Lions win 28-17.
The other game was a Dolphin game, right? Did I miss?
Yes.
Dolphins 17, Bengals 13.
What?
Why not?
Next game?
Next game is Jacksonville visiting Kansas City.
This to me, I think, is going to be like the game of the week.
I also need you guys to make your fantasy picks real quick. I forgot all about it.
Oh, God.
Jeff picked Robert Woods. Kyle, you're up.
To me, though, the Kansas City-Jacksonville game, this is going to be a big-time test for Mahomes. Going up against, one of the league's elite defenses. And it's also he's facing an offense that's good, so I think Jacksonville's going to put up points, so it's going to keep Mahomes. He won't be able to get comfortable with like a big lead. I think the Chiefs are going to win 35-28.
I think Jacksonville goes in, and I think Bortles has a huge game. I think Jacksonville wins 42-32.
I think the Jacksonville defense showed Mahomes what's up. I think Jacksonville wins 24-10.
Kansas City rolls on. I just feel like they got some momentum right now. 33-24. Also, Detroit beats Green Bay 30-28. There's another pick I didn't get to do, but I don't remember what the score was, what the teams were, so it doesn't matter.
All right, Denver Broncos visiting the New York Jets.
Broncos have a hold of that game. I feel, Jets had the spurts where they look really good. Denver can control the game. I have Denver winning 23-17.
I think Denver goes in and beats the Jets. I guess Sam Darnold's looked all right, but he hasn't really impressed me that much.
Got nothing.
I
feel bad for that kid.
But even he was hyped up to be.
Like, he's played good, but he just doesn't have anything around him.
I think that Denver's going to come in. I think Von Miller's going to have big day.
Denver can stay in games.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Case Keenum's not been the guy they've wanted so far,
Yeah.
but they're playing well.
13-0 shutout by the Broncos.
I was going to say 14-0 Broncos.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, go with it.
Well, he kind of beat me to it there. I was leading up to it, and he just jumps in.
Listen, what are you expecting? People going to shower you in flowers? Come on.
Yes!
I'm taking the
Rebecca
Jets.
just picked Blake Bortles.
What?
Rebecca picked Blake Bortles.
I'm taking the Jets. I think the Jets win. I
Well,
don't like the Broncos offense
Kendall, you
at
got to
all.
make your pick.
I'm taking on Jesse James.
I think the
I
Jets
don't think
win
anybody has him.
17-7.
Hopefully not.
Someone just confirm that Jesse James isn't on a roster before I fucking steal it from another team by accident.
If he's on a team, take him.
I don't think Jesse James
I don't think
is
he's
on
been picked.
anybody's roster.
Falcons visiting the Steelers.
Big time game.
Big time game. Both teams played absolutely atrocious. The Steelers have not played deserving to win. If there's been a wake-up game, if any, it should have been last week, but we'll call it hangover. This is the game to win. I think it's very close. I think Pittsburgh wins 36-30.
This game's in Atlanta?
In Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh.
Oh.
No dome. A blustery October
take
evening.
over.
Go ahead.
Afternoon, rather.
I think it's a high-scoring game. I think the Steelers win 37-34.
Hey, Ron Roberts. Hey.
Falcons, 45-42.
Fuck off.
Kyle, you take it so personal.
Because every time you pick the Steelers, you're picking them to lose.
I didn't pick the Steelers.
Yeah, you always pick them to lose.
That's not true.
98%.
That's not true.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
You're not.
Well-
Pittsburgh wins. Pittsburgh wins 54-49.
Oh my god.
Yes.
54-49. Ben goes down after 2 minutes.
Doesn't help our defense, but you know what? We won.
So
Mason
wait.
Mason Rudolph comes in, throws 7 touchdowns.
Okay, anyway, I don't want that to happen.
7 touchdowns, all of them
Hey, that's what happened with
All of
Tommy
them.
Maddox.
To James
To
Conner.
Vance
to
McDonald.
Roosevelt Knicks.
That's fine. That'd be awesome.
Knicks.
Caught one touchdown last year.
Hey, it's all that mattered. Christmas
all right.
Day, Ravens.
Shut up, Kendall.
Remember that forever.
Oakland Chargers.
Los
Sorry,
Angeles.
Oakland Raiders Chargers. I said a different team.
Los Angeles rolls on. I think the Raiders, they had their win. I think they're going to kind of be like, hey, and they'll calm down. Melvin Gordon, I expect a big day out of him. We'll call it 24-13. Los Angeles.
I think LA, like you said, keeps the ball rolling. 28-10.
I think it's a new beginning. I think the Raiders upset the Chargers.
That's the way you said it. I'm sorry.
I don't like the Chargers defense has been really bad. You give 27
the
points.
Raiders.
You give 27 points to Jimmy Garoppolo's 49er team. Sorry, that's not acceptable. I
Fair.
think the Raiders
That's
win 35-20.
All right. Minnesota, Philly.
Minnesota wins 24-17.
Yes, I agree with Kyle.
Yeah, I think Minnesota has their number this time. It's just, I don't know, Philadelphia, they've shown really good stuff at the same time. They don't have it together yet. You know, Wentz has been, he's been hurt, obviously, and I think it's
He's looked pretty good, though.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a little ways to go. Minnesota holds on. We'll call it 30-17.
Just disagree with the number, Kendall. 24.
No. I'm not a conformist. Give me your shirt.
All right. Give me yours.
No, absolutely not. Oh, you got the shirt underneath. No, I can't give you that either. Sorry.
All right. Arizona, San Francisco.
Arizona wins 9-3.
Unwatchable.
No, okay. Listen, the bad games are the best games.
Arizona wins 9-3.
I hope so. I think Arizona holds on. We'll call it something weird. Definitely a game where a safety comes into play. 19-17.
15-12.
Arizona
Ampersand.
13-3.
Nice.
Gross. All right. Rams, Seahawks. Seattle.
Rams 45, Seattle 20. Another big game for Jared Goff and the boys.
I agree. I think the Rams kind of run away with this one. Probably.
You know who I just picked up in our fantasy league? That wasn't taken.
What do you got?
I just took Cooper Kupp.
Oh, wow.
I was looking at him, but I needed a quarterback.
Cooper Kupp. Rams run away today. 39-14.
I, too, am taking the Rams. 28-10.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Fuck everybody. No. Dallas, Houston.
Houston's going to win 17-7.
I think Nuck Hopkins goes balls deep in Dallas. 28-10. Hopkins, three touchdowns.
You just want him to go.
Hopkins, 3 touchdowns.
Wow. Houston wins
Deshaun
in a very similar fashion, 21-10.
All rushing touchdowns for Hopkins.
That's
not
right.
Hopkins. Watson.
21-10. Houston. Sorry, Peter. I like Dallas, but
No, you don't.
Houston. I like
You
Houston
don't like
more.
Dallas.
If you're not
I
a
don't.
Cowboy fan,
You
you
like
hate
all
Dallas.
teams. You can't
I like
just like
football.
all teams.
I like, well, no. What I'm saying is I like the players of Dallas. I like Elliott. I like Dak. He's fun. I
How's
don't
he
like Sean.
fun?
What?
He's so boring to watch.
No, he's not. Listen, let me put it this way. Any mobile quarterback is fun to me. I enjoy the
Washington,
mobile
New
quarterback.
Orleans.
We're going to continue this later.
I think New Orleans wins 31-24.
Washington wins 24-21.
Washington wins 27-21. I like that score a lot.
Saints, 28. Redskins, 21.
And Indy, New. Oh no, that was it. That was the Monday night game.
Patriots,
New England?
You win with 38, Colts 24.
Ooh, sorry. It's not gonna fly. You lose.
God, give me $40.
Yeah.
Eric Ebron scores a late
$45.
touchdown. after the call
Garbage
gets called
time.
back. Loved it. Loved how that happened.
20 beer reviews.
Fucking, it was average.
What beer did you have?
Sierra Nevada. I don't know why everyone will fucking think this beer is sick. It's not.
It's an okay beer.
I like it.
It's an okay beer.
It's fucking gay.
So, that was uncalled for. The Chimay It wasn't bad. As it got warmer, it got worse. But the Goose IPA was the call to the bullpen today. That's just a solid beverage.
Did he close it out for you?
Great job, Goose Island.
3 innings save?
4.
Harpoon did their Dunkin' coffee porter. You know what? I've had a beer just like this 10,000 times. Everyone thinks they can do like their coffee influence. I don't know. Hold on. You have munchkins? Can I have a munchkin? Hold on. This is going to influence everything right here. I'm going to have a munchkin. I'm going to drink the beer.
What do you think? Was it all? What do we got here?
Chocolate? Cool. Makes somewhat sense. Chocolate glazed. Here we go. Hold on. You can see it on Facebook Live. Roughly the same. So, I've had this beer very similar. It's okay. Crashing into stuff.
There's a lot of those at my house, and they're all stale, and I was very disappointed last
Riddler?
The Cinnamon Abduction, it was okay. I wouldn't really get crazy about it. Don't buy it if you find it. And then I finished off with the Parker Porter from Goose Island. Very high quality, same review as last week. Big fan.
All right.
Well, this is us.
Find us on
Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is GSWD_4.
Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's slapping souls in the gray penis or kissing Coach Anus on the mouth.
Subscribe on Podbean,
Both are
iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. And find us here every Sunday on the PPRN Radio Network. Be sure to tune in every Tuesday and Wednesday night to PPRN for the Peter Pino Show from 7:30 to 10:30 p.m.
Mixtape Saturdays, always.
Yes, mixtape. Thought you were going to give more information on that.
Well, no, listen. Peter's got some guys all across, guys from Florida, guys from Rhode Island. He does his own mix.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
It's good stuff.
Always tune in.
Leave reviews on stuff, on like iTunes. Write reviews.
Yeah, we care.
Yeah.
We care. We'll ignore it, but we care. I'm just joking.
If you bought a T-shirt, take pictures of you in your T-shirt. Post them up.
Just your t-shirt.
No.
So, how about if you take a picture of yourself in a T-shirt, we'll deliver a nip to you. Personally. I'll deliver him.
Okay.
A nip. I get to choose, though. It'll be over $1. Anything over
Just
$1.
so you know, we have T-shirts out in the Czech Republic. So, be ready.
Is there a rowboat or something? Where's the Staten Island ferry go?
Thank you for listening to Getting Sports with Drunk. As said earlier, make sure to tune into all programs on the PPRN Radio Network. We will be live again next Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We will talk more NBA basketball, more NHL, more NFL, some MLB postseason updates. The whole 4 sports are going hard right now. This is the time to listen to sports.
The whole shebang.
I believe the Household Appliance and the Man of Many Names will not be here next week.
Nope.
Unless the team forfeits again.
Jamar, I believe, should be joining us. I think we'll also have a guest on to be determined. But, yeah, make sure to follow us on all the social medias and whatnot, and we look forward to seeing you guys next Sunday. But until then, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Nay.
I'm the man of many names.
And I'm the Red Baron.
No.
Stay classy, Connecticut.